access to the replay. It seems to be working out really well, so we're going to keep doing that. All right. Let's see. It'll usually have me start talking over myself. Access to the replay. There we go. So if you're on YouTube, you're watching the replay and you find value, please comment, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. So if you're new to the community, we have a lot of new people. Edge and Mary are in the call. They're both my virtual assistants, and they are highly trained ninjas. Okay. They've been with me for a long time and they are making it happen for us here. So if you guys are new or you have questions, you can definitely raise your hand. That's one of the things we do. We raise our hands to speak because it makes sure that everything stays in order. And then uh, it says it's choppy. Am I choppy? Is my internet choppy? No. Okay. Good. 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 Okay. So, kind of the standard here is over here inside Zoom. This is where we get the most done. If you're not here in Zoom with us, where are you? You're probably serving people, which is great. So, company, location, and contact info, we're going to put in the side, okay? So, if I was going to do this, I would say 123 legal support, which I don't promote my own company a whole lot in here because most of my stuff comes from my e-filing, right? And marketing online, but this is a great way to get new business is to get it from other process servers here in the community. So I'm just going to say NorCal because that's where I started. And then I would say my phone number. So 833 my e-file. That's the number. Yeah. I was like, is that right? So that's what you'd put. You put something or your location so people know where you're located and they can reach out to you. So Latrice, we got lots of folks joining, lots of some new people I'd love to introduce. If you want to introduce yourself, please turn your cameras on. We like to have conversations with people. If you're driving, it's okay. We can see you driving. We're not going to judge you. Okay. We're process servers. We do drive around. We do serve people. So I get it. I have recently decided to go ahead and relaunch what I started before when I did the 10K challenge and building the process serving agency here in New Mexico. And pretty soon at the end of this year in Orlando, Florida. Um, if people don't sign up for the directory in certain areas, I'm just going to build a business there. you know, like this is going to be a successful directory all over the country. And so the last thing that you want is me moving into your backyard. Trust me. Trust me on that. Okay. Because I understand what white glove treatment is, and I'm excited to be able to partner with all of you guys in making it happen across the country and taking a lot of the jobs that go to the small or to the big companies and then get filtered down to us could actually be sent directly to us. All right. So, welcome to the Mighty Mastermind. We're going to do this. This is, I think, video number 5 of 40. Once we finish the 40 Mastermind series, we are going to finish doing the masterminds. We'll have all the replays available, all the trainings available, and then we're gonna start something that I believe is going to be epic in the process serving industry by June. So, my goal is to take all of you guys by June for all of us to lift each other up, and then we're all making over $10,000 a month. I think that's fair. I've talked to a lot of people offline all the time, all day, process servers that are asking questions about how to get over that 10K. And it always comes back to the backup script. Yes, you can knock on doors, you can go in places, you can print out cards, you can do flyers, you can do bandit signs, you can stand in front of the courthouse, you can have a shirt that says process server and go to the courthouse. Like there's a million and one things you could do. But the thing that you're going to do is the thing that's going to work the most rather than nothing, right? Rather than overanalyze it. So that's enough mindset stuff this morning. Let's go ahead and do some quick introductions. If you don't know or why you should listen to me, I built multiple six-figure companies in the process serving industry, different process serving companies. My first one did really well, over $500,000 a year, which is not that good compared to the people that I surround myself with, right? But I have enough to help you get over that 10K a month mark, and that's kind of my first challenge this in the beginning of this community. And the best way to reach out to me actually to go inside of school and click on my face. And then you can hit chat and just chat me directly. I answer every single chat in there. So if you're on YouTube and you're like, what are you talking about? Go to mightyprocessserver.com and click on community. The community is free and you can chat with me directly that way. Okay. All right. The next person I have on camera here is Mr. Jeff. How you doing, sir?
Oh, good afternoon on the East Coast. Jeff with Virginia Court Services, process server for 30 years, trying to retire. We are in Roanoke, Virginia, 30 miles east of Virginia Tech. We cover Richmond, and once in a while, I don't mind getting a little ass whooping from Mike for learning education here, like I got this morning. So thank you very much.
No, I like it. If there's one person that has the question, Jeff, I'm sure there's others. I actually know of a couple people that are probably right there with you that are like, wait, what do you mean? Like, how do I share this or do that? And so it reminds me, and I need that. So I appreciate you being here because it makes the community more valuable for everybody to learn. So we have the community and learning and social media and marketing and all that. And then we have process serving and boots on the ground and what you're doing. And you've been at it for 30 years, Jeff. So you have a lot to share and I appreciate you.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Brendan.
There. Coming from you at you from Austin, Texas. I own Win-Win Process Serving. I've been doing it for about 7, 8 years now. Started in California and now started up in Texas. And we're doing pretty good.
Crushing it. Win-win. I love the name. Win-win is just so good, man. It's a win-win. You know, there's so many marketing spins I could think of because people think of win-win. You don't have to ask how to spell it. You don't have to ask, you know. So, love it. Welcome. Mr. Eric and his lovely wife.
Hi, I'm Eric. This is Amy. We're in West Michigan. We're Samurai Investigations. We're a licensed PI agency in Michigan, along with process serving. We've been doing this now for about 10 months and stumbling in the dark and doing very good for stumbling in the dark. And we feel like we're just touching the iceberg. So
We have lots of questions.
Well, you've come to the right place. During the Be the Backup, any of the mastermind meetings, actually, it is open for questions. It is open for discussion. And just to really highlight, I do this a lot. I know you guys that come all the time probably get tired of hearing me say this, but even though I host it and I'm leading the masterminds and I have the trainings in the community, the mastermind meetings really are about a mastermind, a bunch of people coming together. And so, you know, when you ask a question, I will often answer it if I think I know the answer, but I'm always going to try to defer to the community too. And if I don't, raise your hand. Like sometimes I'll forget, raise your hand, be like, actually, I got something to say about that. And then we can move on to a new question or topic. Does that make sense? Like the mastermind there's somebody here that has a different perspective that I don't have that would be more valuable to some of your questions. So, Eric, I got to talk to Eric and Amy a little bit and listening to their story, it's like it's very similar to a lot of other of you guys that started and kind of didn't know what direction to go as far as like to grow. But with a couple little tweaks in what you're doing, and all of a sudden you're making $10,000 to $20,000 a month. So, you know, I'm excited for them. And anytime you can partner with your spouse, and you can get along, it's a huge benefit. So welcome, you guys. Excited to hear how things go. So, all right, I don't see any other cameras on, so let's get right into. Go ahead and you guys post some comments in the chat. Any questions that you have on your mind, that way you get the gears turning. Also, share your company information. You can save the chat if you hit the three little dots in the top right hand corner. You can actually save the chat. It'll save to your computer if you're on your computer. It'll save to your computer as a file, and you can go back later and save their contact information and stuff like that. So, actually, I did not share this inside of the group, reminding people today. So we have a little bit lower numbers. But what we're going to get into today is some Be the Backup stuff. Let's see, we got some people joining. Let me just put it in here. Yeah, just put this in here. Get people. Remind everyone we're getting going here today. All right. So let's start with let's start Edge. Can you go ahead and post some of the links that we talked about earlier for the virtual training people? Last Tuesday we did virtual assistant training. We're not going to go into that too much today, but I just want to give you guys some of the resources for those of you guys that are interested and are engaged, which quite a few of you are. Um, yeah, so when you're ready, Edge, go ahead and post those links over in the side chat for everybody, and we'll talk about them. Okay. While she does that, Mary, let's bring up let's what I want to start doing is highlighting you guys that have signed up for websites briefly during these meetings and answer any questions you guys have about that and help you guys help promote you guys a little bit. So we have a couple folks that signed up for websites that have just finished them building them, and that's the sponsor really of all of this is the website builder that I have with Desi. So Mary, why don't you go ahead and share your screen and let's take a quick look at these two sites that you guys built this week. They did a great
Sure,
job.
Mike.
And you guys be put your comments in the side chat, like whatever questions you have, whatever things you want to talk about this week while she does this. Who is
So,
this?
yeah, Legal Excel Network went live this week, and it's based in California.
Okay. Let's scroll up to the top. Let's see what this looks like here. All right, you guys did pretty good. I like this. It's like a clean California landscape. Okay, cool. That looks nice. This lady, I bet she doesn't work there. I got a couple of serve manager videos. That's nice. They make some pretty good videos. We should make some of those. One thing that's really cool about this right here that Mary scroll up. This is our website builder, Mighty Website Builder, actually connects with the Google review links. And so whenever you get a new review, it'll automatically add it to your website, which is really, really cool because you want to highlight that. Scroll down, Mary, to the Google review links. Yeah, right there. Perfect. Yeah, all of those will automatically post to your website like this. It's pretty cool. If you want it, you know. Some people don't want that, but all right. And then you had another one.
Oh yeah, we have 911 Houston server from Texas.
Okay, very cool. Okay. Oh, this looks like is this one of the starter sites or did you guys build this one?
We build this.
Okay. Yeah, the starter templates look really nice, so sometimes you can't tell. All right. Who is this?
911 Houston server, Mike.
Okay. Cool, cool. Yeah, people are signing up like crazy. You guys are doing a great job. Keep up the great work. Doing the SEO and everything like that. How can everybody get signed up for this? Do you have a
Uh,
tab for that?
they just have to visit our website, the Mighty Website Builder.
Mm-hmm. So these packages right here, the starter 27, that there's no setup fee and there's 4 templates. You guys can go check it out. We won't bore you with it today, but if you click on view templates, you guys can go and see the 4 different templates that are pre-built. The business package 57, that one basically gives you all the website bells and whistles, and then the $97 a month one, that one where we manage a complete automated form for you to be able to accept jobs online, right? It charges the credit card fee and everything. And if you sign up for professional, you can get $100 off the setup fee by putting in, I think it's, Mary, I think it's MPS 2025. So Mighty Process Server, MPS 2025. You can sign up for a website and get $100 off setup, which is normally 500. So cool, cool. Thank you, Mary. Appreciate you.
Welcome, Mike.
Keep up the great work. You and Desi are crushing it over there in the design team. All right, let's see. Edge says Zoom link every Tuesday for VA interviews. Yeah, so for the next 2 Tuesdays, you know how we showed up to Zoom and then we had to go to a new Zoom? That Zoom link right there is for the VA interviews specifically. So if you register for that Zoom link, anytime a new one is added to the series of interviews, you'll get a notification. So if you're interested in, seeing the others. We have a lot more applicants that didn't show up, and so we're going to keep going. So that's next Tuesday. You can just show up. Next Tuesday, we're the mastermind meeting. I'm just going to put in there mastermind meeting. I'm going to switch out the link that's in there for this link for the next 2 weeks. So anybody who's registered will see it canceled. Mighty Mastermind canceled for the next 2 weeks, but it's not completely canceled. We are meeting. We're just focusing on VAs for a little bit. Okay. Jessica has a question. She has 2 attorney customers. Jessica, would you like to come up and discuss it, or are you unavailable?
Yeah, so one of them called me and then the second one just placed an order on my website. So I'm trying to see what to do from here, how to grow the relationship and figure out what their needs are.
Okay. Yeah. I like it. Latrice, you have a comment on that or a different topic?
No, I have a question.
Okay. Hold on just 1 sec, okay?
Mhm.
So, good. I will call and talk to the paralegal. So let's answer Jessica's question. So basically, Jessica, you got a customer, they found you, they gave you work out of nowhere. And what is a good way to grow this relationship and find out their needs? I'll pick up the phone. It looks like Brendan has a comment. Brendan, you want to say that? Or you have a comment? Oh, I muted you, dude. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was trying to find the mute button, or the audio button. Yeah, so just call them straight up. I mean, the one who sent you a thing over the website, a good thing is, hey, I saw you placed an order over the website. Thank you for that. Just go into it. Whatever you wanted to ask. I assume you want to know what their volume is like, or how much to expect, or how you can probably get more work from them. So I would ease into that. Or like when Mike says, hey, I'm in the area, just want to stop by and see if I can just stop by and say hi, or what have you, and then spark up a conversation with the lady at the front desk. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. And Jessica's good about asking general questions just to kind of get the conversation flowing. You notice nobody else posted anything in there. Hands raised is another good way to do it too. So Jessica, I appreciate the question. If somebody reaches out to you, a quick thing real quick, then we'll get to Latrice and we'll keep going. If you raise your hand, you're ready to talk. If you want to just to talk about it, maybe we put it in the chat. That's what we'll do. So if they're a pro se, I call them every single time because I need them to know, first of all, they're paying for the attempts, right? I need to set expectations so that they don't leave me a bad review when I give them a declaration of diligence and I offer to do a skip trace for them for free. And I give them a declaration of diligence and say, do you want me to keep going on this? I could try to skip trace them and try to find them. I'll do it for free. And if I get something, then you can pay for that second address, right? I have to communicate that up front. Otherwise, the expectation is that, I'm going to be Superman and I'm going to just figure it out and somehow find them for $50, right? Or whatever. So you have to communicate that. Now, if it's an attorney, like you're saying, like you get like an attorney or a paralegal comes and asks you, the best thing to do with that is really just to reach out to them, do a really good job instead of like reaching out to them right away. Do the job and do it well, really well. And then when you call them, you follow up with them and say, hey, I just want to make sure you got the proof of service. And I wanted to ask you, did you want me to go ahead and e-file this for you? If you want to be really brazen like I am, is you'll just e-file it for them right away if you have e-filing in your area. You say, hey, I just want to let you know I e-filed it. But some attorneys don't want that. They're very strategic about how they're filing certain things. You want to be careful with that. But if it's like small claims where like the court will remove your hearing from the calendar if there's no proof of service on file, you're not hurting anything to file that proof of service. Does that make sense? So cool. Good stuff. Was that kind of where you were going or did you have other ideas, Jessica?
Yeah, no, it's basically what I kind of thought to do. I just didn't know if I should send them a rate sheet or what the deal is.
Yeah, sending them a rate sheet would be great. But they've already hired you, right? Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah, so the one today, I just had to drop off paperwork. It wasn't a service, but yeah. So I mean, they've already been on the website and all that.
If they hired you to do something else like that, I would give them a rate sheet and I would even take the time to go ahead and print out a glossy paper rate sheet or like one that's on like a harder cardstock glossy one or even laminate one, whatever you want to do, but make it something that they feel weird throwing away. And like, man, this looks expensive. You know, those people who send out the big fancy catalogs, it's on glossy papers, full color. I'm just like, I'm throwing it away, and I'm like, this cost them $25, you know, or $11 or something to make, and they sent it to me, you know. But anyway, it's also valuable to them because they probably are already hiring somebody to do what you do. I like that. In-person drop-offs are always good too. But yeah, sending emailing a rate sheet. By the way, here when you send them whatever you're sending them, invoice. Sometimes just sending an invoice is a good opportunity to say, by the way, here's my rate sheet, and by the way, because you're a new customer, I took off $10, or by the way, I'm sending you guys a $25 Starbucks gift card. I hope I hope I get I hope I earned your business by providing great service today.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
I kind of gave him a discount by accident because on my order form, I don't have a rush. It's called working copy, so we just drop it off, but I don't have a rush option. And he ordered it this morning at 7 and wanted it done by 12. So that should be a rush, but he just paid the regular price. So I kind of
That
have
should
to
be
tell him that there is a rush price.
that should be the same day maybe.
Yep.
Yeah, that's like, so you got rush is like by tomorrow usually. Same day is like today. On demand is like by noon, you know. So there's many different levels depending on what you decide to do, right? But those are kind of the terms I've heard over the years. Brandon says my class, right? Okay, cool. All right, so Edge also shared the link. That's a really good link if you're interested in hiring VAs. We've compiled individual videos where each of the VAs did an example of their voice, right? And there's a Google sheet of the people who showed up to the call on Tuesday. There's a Google sheet that lists their availability, their name, and then those links to the videos. It's on Google Drive, so you can actually go and listen to them and see which one, remind you too of who they were, and if you're interested in hiring them. And just for any of you guys that weren't involved with that meeting, we're not this is the beginning of a new business I'm partnering with my VAs on. We're not charging anything for finding them for you. You can reach out to them directly. Okay. In the future, that's what we're going to do. We're going to charge a finder's fee, and then we charge a $50 fee to manage them for you, which I think is pretty cheap. Inside of our Slack and everything, paying them regularly, and you just pay us type of thing. So, but it's all transparent. We want to keep everything very transparent for you guys. But you can click on that link. She put it in the side chat. If you're on YouTube and you're like, where's all these links? Well, they're inside Zoom because the people who showed up to Zoom are committed. I'm just kidding. I know everybody's driving around. If you got to watch on YouTube, that's fine. And if you're watching the replay, all the links are available inside the community. We actually have a new office manager training, which is not available till you get to level 7 on the leaderboard, on the engagement levels. I know that's a lot, but this is something that you probably shouldn't be doing until you've went through your marketing, you've went through your stuff, like everything, right? And so a lot of people have reached level 7 just by going in and engaging in the community on a daily basis regularly. But I'm making this available to those who show up live immediately. So that's kind of a reward for showing up live, okay? Latrice, I made you wait long enough. How you
No,
doing?
it's all cool. It's all cool. My question for you is the follow-up from like the backup server script. When do you reach back out to the prospects that said, oh yeah, here, sure, send this to this email or this person? At what point do you reach back out and kind of what do you say?
Yeah, so we've talked about this a little bit before. I think Jessica had that question a few weeks ago, and my inclination and what I've done with the folks here in New Mexico when we first started was we just did this blast and got all these people to sign up right away, and it was like, whoa, this works, So we kind of there's a little bit of whiplash in there, but for those people who I have on my list that didn't reply or whatever, putting them on an auto drip where essentially they're getting all of your blog posts when you post them is essential.
Mhm.
But what I would say is most of the people are giving you their thing knowing that, not giving you their email knowing that you're going to send them a rate sheet. So when they randomly get a blog post from your newsletter, it had better be valuable. You had better take the time to make sure that it's valuable and do it like once a month. I wouldn't do it more than once a month because if they get one, they may just go, "Oh, interesting. The court's closed on Tuesday. Oh, thanks for thanks for letting me know." That's the response you want of like, I won't spam you, mark you as spam because you gave me some value, right? And then underneath whatever notifications you have in your newsletter, we haven't went into this too much, but inside the marketing training, where I'm circling back to that, we kind of got cut short because I was traveling during the conference season. But I'm going to come back to it. And essentially, what you want to do is have multiple sections in your email. Serve Manager did this really well. ServeNow did this really well. They called it the Serve Report, and mine's called Server Central. And I haven't started doing this at scale yet. But what you're going to see this year by June, we're going to have all this stuff dialed in by June, is you're going to see the different sections. So the first section is like current events, like news. And that's because the reason why is because as humans, we see things as that are urgent. More current is more urgent, if that makes sense. Current is urgent. So if you see something regarding the courts, regarding a new law, regarding process serving, something that might have to do with what they care about. And you might think that, well, they're an attorney's office, they don't care about process serving, like necessarily. I want to get that out of your head because process server attorneys show up, and anything that revolves around process serving matters to them. Maybe not on the surface on the day to day, but when they show up to court, the first question they get asked by the judge is, "Do we have a valid proof of service on file?" I don't see it. Where's it at? Do you have one, counsel? No? Okay. We can't even talk about this case. All right. Let's go ahead and put it on calendar for 2 weeks out. Has anybody ever experienced that or heard that in court? Mr. Jeff.
Okay, yes, I've had attorneys call me from the courtroom saying, where's the return of service? Because they have to continue the case. And I document by confirmation from the courts, and sometimes the clerks don't file it. So yes, it's many times. And that's one of the most important things because they can't move forward until the court has that. So that's why I tell people that it's very important that they file it properly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're calling you from the court because they're like, they can't. Maybe they showed up to court planning to argue the case, and they've got witnesses showing up because they served all kinds of subpoena witnesses, and here they can't even go forward because the defense hasn't even been served properly. And if
Right.
you're someone who dropped the ball, you don't take it seriously enough, you might want to find a different career. You might think about doing something different. Mr. Sean.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I just received a stack of subpoenas from a client that the sheriff screwed up their proof of service, and so I think 14 subpoenas I have to go out and reserve from what the sheriff screwed up in 2017. So this case has been going on since 2017, and the sheriff has messed up the proof of service. So their screw up is my gain. So now they've also started sending me other work too. So yeah, hopefully we can take some work away from the sheriff.
Yeah, we always like taking work from the sheriffs, don't we? Yeah. Actually, when Mary was highlighting the Legal Excel Network, that video that she has on there, or he has on there, one of the videos from Serve Now they made a long time ago, was talking about how the sheriff has more important things to do. They're busy. They're like serving like arrest warrants for murder. Yeah, they're busy. The process serving is the last thing on their list, and so they're gonna go right after lunch, make an attempt at 1 o'clock every day, and that's not diligence in California anyway. That is not diligence. That is improper diligence. I mean, what if the person works 9 to 5? They're never gonna find them ever. What if the person works graveyard and they only show up at night, right? So they're in the evening. You're never going to catch them. So you have to do morning, afternoon, and night, and maybe even another night, right? I always tried 2 nights, 4 attempts. So I mean, everybody's different, right? But that's what I always did. That's what kind of California judges tend to prefer. My clients are aware that I can serve down in Round Falls, trying to drum up some work for us. Good job, Brendan. Good job. Good job. Good job. Yeah, lots of good stuff here. Edge, I think you're missing one link that we talked about. We got the Zoom, we got those links. Oh yeah, the link to this specific school page. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there it is. So that's the page in the classroom if you have reached level
My
7.
connection's asking me, wait a minute.
What? Oh, Jeff. He was okay, he unmuted.
Yeah, sorry, I had to mute my mic. Sorry about that.
No worries, man, no worries. So yeah, that one, if you're in level 7, I think that one, that's what that is. You have to be at level 7. But last week, was it Jessica? Yeah, Jessica won the engagement award for last week. And so I believe that's who it was. So she's gonna get cash apped. I know there's a lot of new people here, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick screen share and just talk about that really quick while you guys think about some other topics you want to discuss. And then we'll get into the be the backup stuff. All right, so you raise your hand if you have something or put it in the chat. Let's see. Yeah, leaderboard. Let me share my screen. Okay, so this is the leaderboard. And of course, you see the different levels, different things will unlock as you go. The office manager training is going to be a training that I might sell in years from now for thousands of dollars. Okay, we are going to put so much into this training, whether it's virtual assistants or whatever. You guys just have to engage to get to this level. Let's see, here's interview day, VA interviews day 1. But it's not just going to be VA interviews where I'm going to stack this up just like I'm going to do the marketing one, because office manager training is like basically how can I be someone who sends workouts to people in other areas and just work out of the office. There's a lot of people who would want to do that aren't necessarily process servers. And so we're going to teach them, hey, you want to have some VAs working for you if you have high volume and you need lots of help. You're going to have different resources and stuff and teaching them how to use different softwares. I'm going to bring in different people from each of the software companies for now, unless I decide to build my own. And then yeah, and different companies maybe that send out bulk work as well, of how they manage it. I know a couple of the main people of those companies that might come in if they are not hated on too much and leave and answer some questions about how they forward work, right? So the way that you do this is you just come in here and you go up in the levels. So if you ever lost, you're trying to find the levels, they're right here. You can click right here. It tells you how to get to level 7. Level 7 is 2,000 points. So instead of spending, a couple $1,000s in a few years, like you could just go and comment. And the best way to do that, I'll just say my 2 cents, is post valuable stuff that's engaging. You can post polls, you can post, emojis, GIFs, and then add links. You can do an attachment, a picture, whatever, and just create engaging stuff, because every time somebody likes your post, as you can see on the leaderboard, you get points. Users, okay. So 1 like equals 1 point. So yeah, encourage likes. That's what you want to do. You want to encourage likes. And I'm very picky who I let into the group. Okay, like if people are trying to come in the group and they're marketers, they're not process servers. That's not what we want, right? Any kind of other industries or whatever. We want people who are engaged in service or process. That's what we want. If you guys haven't yet, please go leave a testimonial or review of the community and register for the weekly Zooms, and you get verified on the directory. That's the best way to start receiving work from other people in the community, because anytime I see anything anywhere, I share the direct link to that state's listings of people who are listed, and that's only growing each and every day. So Brendan says, I'm the 180th member. Wow, grow quick. Yep. Yep, in 1 week we're over like 100. So I'm just going to keep blasting out thousands of emails to people, and people join. It's the easiest. I mean, process servers is a small industry. If we get to 1,000 members, that's going to be epic, right? That's going to be crazy to have that many people inside that are vetted and true people in the community. That's going to be pretty cool. So I don't see any hands up. You guys ready to go into the be the backup? You guys want me to call some people for you? Thursdays we set aside specifically for breaking your thought pattern that the idea that calling someone is scary. I prove to you by calling attorneys in your backyard, in your market, the way that I could do for my own company, I do for you for free because well, actually, no, I want a percentage, right? I always joke whenever I get off the phone, I want 10%, right? Whatever. So who wants me to call for him? I didn't really prep you guys today on online for this. Um, people are saying it's not letting them in. Tiffany Patton, did you get in? It's just okay. Raise your hand if you would like more clients. Click the little raise your hand button. If you could use more customers, click the raise your hand button. Okay. If everybody here has plenty of clients, we can end the meeting now. Okay, Latrice, Eric. Okay, finally, people are raising their hands. Good, good, good. Okay, Latrice, we'll start with you. Oh, you're muted. There you go. Oh, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go. Yes, I can hear you.
All righty. I guess I have my list here. Do you want me to give you just the number?
What you guys should do is put them in. If you have school up, you can message them in school. I don't mind just you telling me who they are. I can look them up too.
I can message you because I'm in school.
Yeah, just message me the number in school because I can pull it up on my phone and just click it. You know what I mean? You guys message me in school. That's actually the best way to reach out to me as well. I answer all my messages in school. That's the school chat, right? Everybody kind of comes in there and has their questions and stuff. I just sent Tiffany that. Let's see here. Chris, you sent me your information. Oh, okay, yeah, cool. These are some attorneys. Good. So, yeah. So, Chris, raise your hand, and then we'll bring you up, guys. You want me to call attorneys in your market? Let's do this. Raise your hand, and then that way you're in line, and then we'll bring them up. At a doctor's appointment, have to leave, but will we surely engage in the future? No worries, Eric. Appreciate you coming on, man. And your hands up. Okay, good. I was like, so cool. So we're doing Latrice. Latrice's stuff. We're gonna pin you here. There you go. Gonna pin me. All right.
And my computer is just going extremely slow, so I'm trying to get it to, I don't know what the heck is going on. My service has been slow all day today.
No worries, no worries. So, if you could, Edge, can you put the be the backup script sheet in the chat for those that are new or unfamiliar with it? And let's get on the same page for everybody, okay? Inside of school, I know it's on a different platform. You can put it in the chat as a private chat if you want. Just trying to be somewhat discreet for you guys, right? We don't need the whole community and YouTube, even on the replay, reaching out to these people. But if someone wants to, they will. That's just how it works. So just be aware of that too. And at the end of the day, if you do a great job, people aren't going to leave you. They're going to keep using you. So, all right, let's see. Yep, thank you, Edge. Sorry, and yeah. Okay, cool. So let's do this, Latrice, while we wait for your while I wait for your message on school. We'll move to Chris, and then
Okay.
we'll circle back. Okay.
Great, no problem.
Yeah, no worries. Mr. Chris, go for it. How you doing, sir? Oh, you're muted. There you go.
Hey, I'm doing good, doing good. Happy to be here.
I like the hairdo, man. What are you lifting weights? Getting swole?
Yeah, shave the head. Yep.
I've been there.
Oh yeah.
I've been there. So this Scott Law Firm, these ones you pulled off Google?
Yeah. Yep.
And are we doing resilient? What are we doing?
Yeah, we're doing resilient out in
Clark.
Vancouver. Yeah,
Cool.
Clark County. Mhm.
All right, let's call these guys, see what they do. You can't put too much thought into it, you guys, when you call. Chris, be ready to write an email if they give it.
Oh, yeah.
If you are an existing client, please press 1. If you are a potential client and would like to speak with an attorney, please press 2. For all other calls, please press 3.
I think I called this one before. Let's see what they say. Resilient.
Good morning, the Scott Law Firm.
Hi, this is Mike with Resilient Process. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Just we're local process servers in the area, and I saw you guys online here, and I'm pretty sure you guys already have a process server because you've been in business for a while.
Yeah.
But I was curious if I could send over my rate sheet just in case you guys need a backup.
Yeah, that would be great.
Great, great. What's a good email for you?
You can send it to me and I'll get it to Colin. My email is lbrown at
Okay.
Scott Law,
Okay.
P like Paul, LLC.com.
Oh, PLLC, like partnership. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I got that. And now you said who is the person in charge of sending them out?
The attorney here is Colin Scott.
Oh, Colin Scott. I see. So he decides who he wants to serve them.
Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. Well, wonderful. I appreciate your time today.
Yeah, of course.
All right, you have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Don't overthink it. Just do it. Just call. Just pick up the phone, call. Pick up the phone, call. You're going to get people that hang up. You're going to get people that act weird. That call could have went very differently had I paused for too long. I did pause slightly, which I don't like to do, but because I gave her an intro a little bit humming around a little bit too much, I felt like a pause was necessary. I don't want to overthink that too much, but I really did. So, and she was like, "Yes, we do." You see how she was like, "Yes, we do." But I disarmed that thing that they always say, right, in that process. And then I was able to smoothly go in and just say, you know, and say, just in case you need a backup. But I was wondering, you know, the other thing that I might try, I don't want to get you guys off track here, but one thing I might try is saying, would it be out of the question if I sent my rate sheet over just in case you need the backup? This is Never Split the Difference, Chris Voss. He talks about putting everything in the negative, that they would have to answer in the negative. Okay. I'm gonna have to call you back, bro. Okay. So that's a good one.
Yeah, that went good. Uh-huh.
That was good. She sounded like she was pretty. And you got the guy's name, Colin?
Yeah, yep, I took it all down. Uh-huh.
Yeah, Colin's gonna be so now what I would do, this is just me, Chris, but I would go on Google, I'd look up Colin, I'd look up where he went to school, college, Harvard, where'd he go? What does he specialize in? Is he a litigator or does he primarily do things out of the office? Like how much work could you potentially expect from him? And then I would friend him on LinkedIn. I would not send him a message. I would just connect with him on LinkedIn. And when you start posting things on LinkedIn, he's going to see all of it. And when he happens to see your rate sheet, this beautiful rate sheet created, it also matches your brand online and on LinkedIn. And then Facebook, people like to go all in, all crazy, but I would not connect with him on Facebook. You might follow him on Facebook if he has a page. That'd be good. Just let this people know that you're different. If you get the attorney's name and the attorney's the one that makes the decision, then that's go all in on that. The problem is a lot of times it's not the attorney; it's a paralegal, and following her on social media is not going to do a whole lot for you. LinkedIn, yes, but other places, not really. She's going to go, was this random guy like following me? Remember, she's an employee there, right? She's not so you don't want to go too deep on it, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And then just on the follow up, we had some great questions earlier. Is like on the follow up, it's like you may not call back and ask for Colin because that's what I tell you guys to do, right? But you may not call back and ask for Colin because that might be a little too heated for you, right? Because now he's got on the phone. Like, can I help you? Oh, hey, Colin, this is Chris, the process server. And maybe you will. Maybe you have something to say. But for me, I want to just be somewhere in the vicinity that when he decides to hire a process server, he might choose me. Because the best way for me to get in his email and for to continually get work for him is to do a great job as a process server. There is nothing I can teach you or tell you guys to do more than doing a good job at the thing they hired you to do. That's it. That's it. Like if you can do that, they will stick with you. They will tell their friends about you because every time you show up to court, you make them look good. Every time they show up to court. And you offered, hey, I was just curious, like I've been doing my best to do a great job. I was just wondering, do you ever have anybody that can test service? Or do you ever have anybody that does that? Because I'd be happy to show up to court if you ever have any questions regarding service. Like I'm doing my best to make sure everything is top notch, but I'm building and then circling back to the idea of building the relationships. I talked to her a little bit. I was trying to be sweet to her, but what I could have done is I could have okay. Hold on guys, I got to take this one. Some calls you have to take. Let's hear from Jessica on what she's doing to get over 10K.
What am I doing? I'm always improving my SEO. I'm adding blog posts all the time, and they include specific city names. So when people search online, my website's going to pop up for all these small towns. What else? My own piece. He's back.
Gotta unmute yourself.
I'm guilty of it for once. So I'm curious to know, Jessica, what's your word of wisdom? How'd you get over 10K so fast?
I was mentioning how I'm working on my blog post and adding names of cities so that I come up in search results for all the towns around me.
That's good. Yeah, blog post. Yeah. So when people search something and it's a town that's maybe not you're in with your direct Google My Business listing, but your website still shows up somewhere in the search, maybe not on the maps, which we like, right? But below that, somewhere pretty close. Is that right?
You got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Great example of taking SEO to the next level and just doing what I said to do. Create blog posts that mention the different counties around where you are. And if you want to expand to be nationwide, well, I recently did that, building the directory, and I can tell you there's 3,000 something counties, 44 counties. I shouldn't say I did it because both the people who helped me build it are on this call. um, they did it, and there's a lot of counties, and so be prepared to do a lot of work if you're trying to grow nationwide. It's not impossible, but it's better to become a big fish in a small pond. So Adele, you've been waiting up there. Chris, thanks, man. Great stuff. I'm glad we got one right away.
Yeah, thank you. Much
Appreciate you, man.
appreciated.
Yeah, and Chris has been one of the first ones that started doing the be the backup and was sending me video clips. I still get some clips from you where you're highlighting the scripts, how they work. They work so well. You just you have to work, you know, you know, the scripts work, but do you work, So now we got Miss Adele up. What's up, Adele? Adele.
Nothing much.
What do you got going on? You said are others consistently getting $10,000 a month?
So I just wondered that, and I just wonder like on like others that are working are like, like what the ratio of like lawyers to other like server companies, just wondering like how others are doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, people on the call, if you want to mention it, you can. Of course, that's kind of a private thing for a lot of people.
Okay.
But I will tell you, Adele, I talk to a lot of these folks and they tell me where they are because they want help to improve. I won't mention names, but there's some that are making, they're doing it part time. They got a full time job. They're making about $5,000 a month. There's some that have been doing it for for 30 years that are making $30,000 a month on this call. So you just have to you have to realize that, because I don't know where your question's coming from really, but
So I
I
guess my question's coming from is like, so I made 1 month, I made 11,000,
yeah,
to be honest. And that was last February, but I was pounding payment and most of it was coming from working for other servers.
yes,
And so
that's
I just felt like I really got really burnt out working for other servers because you're not getting paid from lawyers. So I'm just wondering, like, if you are making 10,000, are you guys out there pounding the payment for other servers? Is it from lawyers? Is it consistent? Because I haven't hit that again.
yeah,
And I'm going to be transparent. I guess, I'm averaging about 5 to 6 a month, but that's still only a couple lawyers. And I'm only getting, those lawyers aren't very big. They're only, like once every, like one every 2, 3 months. And so I
yeah.
just was just wondering like what other people have done or have seen.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that as well, guys. Raise your hand if you got something you want to add. I'll say real quick, I remember thinking to myself when I was trying to grow, right? And I remember thinking to myself, if I could get 5 serves a day, because I figured out that 100 serves at $97 a serve is $1,000.
Hmm.
So I thought if I can during the week, Monday through Friday, if I could get 5 serves a day, uh, I'm gonna hit my that $10,000 a month. Of course, you want to go a little over that. You got taxes, right? Then you got expenses, and then if you farm any of that work out, you're splitting that in half. So then you got to get between 5 and 10 serves a day. So I know that's a lot. For some people that's a lot. There will come a time when you get contract clients where they're not paying you $100. So now your numbers have to change, right? They're paying you $50 a serve or $65 a serve, and that's going to be you're going to have to get 10 a day. So figure out the numbers and then reverse engineer it. How many attorneys do I have to call? Attorneys offices do I have to call to get one person to start sending me work? Maybe it's 500, right? But if once you know that number, then you can multiply it and say, well, let me call 5,000 attorneys. Let me start calling in other states. Maybe my location is not that good, right? Like maybe I just have a small location. There's not as many attorneys. Let me start diversifying how I make money. Like maybe I start offering other services that I can charge a premium, like private investigation, judgment recovery, where you're taking 50% of the judgment if you collect on it, right? Like there's other ways to get over 10K than just serving papers. But I love that. Who else do we have here wants to comment on getting over 10K? I love this discussion because a lot of people they're struggling with it.
And then if you did want to call anybody, I did put it in school
Oh, good. I haven't
on your personal message.
Oh, okay, okay. In school, okay. I haven't completed the 10-step class. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah. A big part of it is going through and going through the 10 steps. Go through those initial 10 steps. If you can't afford a website, you can't afford the directory, don't worry about that. But go through those 10 steps. I mean, like the backup script is available to people right away. The sales training doesn't open till later on because you need to kind of cut your teeth on learning the basics first, right? And learning how to call, show up to the Zoom meetings, right? I mean, these are not going to be available forever, right? We're doing this now because I'm building this community and it's a part of my bigger plan for, you know, serving the process serving community at the highest level never before seen. And you guys are a big part of that, right? Like you have to be successful, otherwise it's a waste of my time and others' time, right? So Adele, you being on here, I don't see any other hands, so I'm just going to say you being on here is the first step. Like you being on here and networking with other people, you're going to hear feedback from other people that have struggled. I've been there, so I can tell you right now, just don't quit and find other avenues of making money that are in the same field, like notary, stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. Because sometimes I know that when I did that when I was in Chico and I didn't know half the stuff I know now about marketing and sales and stuff, I would just keep going to attorneys' offices. If I wasn't getting any work, I had a whole day with no serves when I first started, right? And I'd get a couple serves, I get flurries of serves, right? Like the snow comes in, it's a flurry, and then it's like sunny out, and you get flurries of serves where you get like 3 or 4, and then you get nothing. And so that nothing time is your time to take those business cards. I don't have any on my desk, but I have 10,000. I bought 10,000 for the dumpster company. I'm having to do what I did when I started the process serving company. I'm doing it all over again for a different industry, but it's the same exact thing. Whenever our dumpsters aren't getting rented out, we go put signs in the ground, right? Bandit signs in the ground, and and put cards on cork boards in coffee shops and hand them out and talk to people and be a little bit crazy. You got to be a little bit crazy to be an entrepreneur. You're a problem solver. And if you want to be successful, you really do have to be obsessed about building this business. Eventually, you can be more relaxed, but at first, you have to be obsessed.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know. I need to do what other people are unwilling to do. I'm going to call the attorney that everybody says is a jerk, okay? Because he could be the guy who starts sending you work, or she could be the person that could start. There's a lady. I'm going to call her out right now, Miriam McNally. It's probably not smart because she's an attorney, but I did work for her and I misspelled her name one time and she was a monster about it on a proof of service. I shouldn't have misspelled her name. I should have taken the time to see it was M capital C, and it was like a weird the way that she did it. And she required it to be that way and she was very upset. She fired us and I'm never using you again, whatever. Well, we're the number one beast in the city. We're serving everything, right? No, everybody uses us at some point. And so she eventually reached back out. And when she did reach back out, I was like, is this the Miriam McNally? And, oh, yeah. Also, a part of that was that she called me to testify on a case that I served that she was defending. And she called me to testify. And I was like razor sharp on everything. She was trying to catch me in a lie. So there was also some animosity because she wasn't getting an inch on my customer off of me, right? Like I served it. She was trying to say that I obtained video because I flew a drone over the pot field where her client lived, and she's like, that was illegally obtained and all this stuff. I'm like, so so there was some animosity. But when she called me back, I was like, "Is this the Miriam McDonald?" She was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." She was trying to play all chummy and stuff, and she's like, "I got to get something served today over here." I was like, "I'll handle it for you." And you know what? I'm gonna spell your name right this time. And she just laughed, and I got the job from her, and we sent it out. So I'm just letting you know, like, if you stick around and you're professional, it's going to circle back around. It's going to circle back. Like you're a professional. You're not a process server. You're a professional process server. And I would go as far as saying, as bold as saying, a mighty process server, right? You're someone who's building a business that's going to last generations. Okay. Now, maybe your kids decide to sell it. I hope they do. I hope they do. They can find something that makes them happy, whatever. But they'll be taken care of either way, right? So that's the idea. That's what we're doing here. Good stuff. Yeah. But cash flow. Without cash flow, you're going to get a job. You're selling stuff on eBay. You're trying to figure it out. And so I've been there. I have been there. My son is there. He just moved here from Pennsylvania. I'm teaching him how to make money, and a big part of it is my brother-in-law has hay. And so we went and got a big old trailer load of hay that they got for like $15. We're going to sell for 25. And so he's out there in the freezing cold selling bales of hay so he can get some cash. And you know what? I could afford to pay him to do a dozen other things and pay him much more. But this is how you learn how to do business. This is how you cut your teeth on how to actually get cash flow and make money. Sometimes you got to hustle. And if you don't hustle and you don't have that worth a damn factor they talk about in entrepreneurship, you don't have that where you've broken your back so that you can learn what it feels like to break your back, so that you can appreciate other people who are breaking their back that work for you when you are making millions of dollars. Like if you can't do that, and when you meet somebody like that because they've seen the pain, they've felt the pain themselves, so they treat even the janitor with respect, right? And so that's what you want. You want to build something like that, and it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. So some tangible stuff, Adele. You call property managers, you call attorneys, you call paralegals. You print the stuff, you do the stuff. Tell me more. I want some feedback from you. Like, have you done this stuff?
So at the very beginning, when I started like a year and a half ago, I did just changing the names has been a little bit rough just because I have to like start over like with cards and different stuff. So, and then because of me getting sick and not being able to go out there, I wasn't making money. So that's where it's just been a little bit rough the last couple months just because I wasn't able to do as much serves and, you know, Christmas time. I have a big family. I have 8 kids, so it's been rough. So it's
Yeah.
just doing it all over again. But yeah, I know when I first started, a lot because I did work for several serving companies, never had to do like ABC Legal or Easy Messenger, thank God. I never had to go that route.
Mm.
But a lot of people have asked me how have I even made what I've made so early in working because they're surprised. Like a lot of them have said, I have servers, but they've never even made over $3,000-4,000 a month. They're like, what are you doing? And that, I mean, the first thing I did is I got my cards and I went down and I passed them out. That's what I was doing. So, I mean, they got a few attorneys, but I also just got in where there's a few servers on Facebook and different groups and stuff like that, and they used me. And you know, sometimes they've went away and said, "Oh, they're use somebody that's been cheaper," and then a lot of times they'll come back and they'll be like, "Okay, well, go ahead and we're going to use you because you're getting it done. We don't know what happened to them. They're taking like a week or two for returns to get back to them, different things like that. Just you know, to I've went ahead and made sure that when I do my service, I do my service. I'm not slipping and
Yeah.
spending a week and a half and getting a paper out or something like that."
Yeah, yeah, no, I like that. I like that just going and hustling and putting out the cards, you start getting work. The hardest thing is like when you put in the work, it's like going to the gym, you know. You go work out and you go home and you're like, I knew it was a waste of time.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you go every day
Mhm.
and you go every day for a month, I've heard someone say that like this, or like you go every day for a month, you're like, I don't see a difference, but I feel different.
Mhm.
And then you go for 2 months, 3 months, you're like, you start to see a little difference in one area of your body or your, or whatever, muscles growing or whatever. And then after a year, you're a different person. You're just, it's kind of like that with this.
Mhm.
You hand out cards, you be relentless, you keep going into these offices. I say hand out cards, I got to back up actually. Handing out cards is like a, it's like breathing, like you're just doing it. But the thing that actually gets you to business is actually sending out the emails with the rate sheets because your email lives, your email with your information, with your county, with all that stuff lives in their email.
I
Like it,
think my biggest thing is I think so quickly I went ahead and went to work. Like I didn't put so much into my business as just working. Like I'm working for everybody
mm,
else instead of putting into the business. And so I think I got a little bit like burnt out, like because I was just pounding pavement. I'm like, I was working, you know, from 6 to like 10 at night. And
mhm.
out in Texas, people are like, why are you serving at 10? Don't get shot. Stop like after
Yeah,
8:30.
you're a
Like,
hustler.
and I didn't
You're,
know that because like I'm not from the Texas area originally from Colorado, but I was like, that's what I told is like, you know, you have to be available from early, you know, because there's a lot that are saying they're not having servers that are available early and not late. But I
mm,
just need to concentrate, I guess, more on my business and have my business grow, not
mm.
help their business grow by going ahead and being the best server necessarily always for them, but to be for my company.
Yeah, that's true. You know, working for I have kind of, I don't like to be negative, but like I kind of have an experience where I slowly weeded out the affiliates that I worked for, and all of you guys are affiliates to each other.
Mm.
And what I'm hoping that you'll take from affiliates is that we offer a fair price, maybe a little bit lower than attorneys or something like that, but we're going to give the same level of service. If you're
Mhm.
getting work from big box companies, there's a good chance that they are going to want a lower amount of money because their whole business model is based on the fact, and mine too, like in California, like I send stuff to people all over the country, but primarily in California. And when I send something to somebody, the lowest money I can pay out is all my money. It's my margin. And so I teach my people, hey, it needs to be lower than this amount. If it's lower than this amount, don't even ask me, just send it to them. And I have pretty high settings, you know, it's $80, you know, certain areas are different, but where I have one affiliate that'll serve for like $25 and he does volume there in the Bay Area, you know, I'm like, don't go over 40 in that area because I know I have somebody who will do it for, you know, for 25. And you can't be upset at me for that because that's business. And the sad part about that is if they give the same level of service, because those are all employees that work for them, and they have such high volume because they're only charging $25. It's just the business. Don't be upset about it. You just look at it. So what you're saying about like affiliates is 100% true. If you're just working for affiliates or big box companies, they say, it's going to be hard for you to have any margin. Look at it like a business, Adele. If you were a courier company, how would you look at things? You know, I got a bid today for a dumpster, not just a dumpster. They want junk removal. I'm like, you're gonna have me picking up trash? Like, one of the things I do with homeless people is I give them my business card and I tell them I'll put you to work. My next junk removal job, I will come pick you up, but you have to call me. You got to get a track phone or something because that's how you're gonna get a job. You're not gonna get a job walking around the streets. So I give them some $20. They go get a track phone. I'm gonna hire. So long story short, I have a list of these people and I'll call them like, hey, where do I pick you up? I got a job today, and I pay them 50, $100 depending on the work. And a big part of this is like bidding on a job. So when I had this lady call me today and she's like, hey, how can we get how much would it cost for this job? I can't, I can't bid on that job until I go see it because I don't know how much work needs to be done. And I
Mhm.
want enough money. This is the key part. I want enough money to make it worth it for those homeless people that are going to show up and work for me, that I can help change their lives while I'm helping them. I'm also able to make a profit that makes it worth it my time to continue to do this work for them, for her, for the lady who's calling me, right? So it's a business. And so when you're getting work from somebody or you're thinking about getting new work from somebody, work for free to start if you have to. Like call an attorney's office and go, and I don't recommend this normally, okay, because they're already paying somebody. But if you need to get in to get your feet in the door to build a relationship, because that's the key, relationships, then you can start off by saying, hey, and remember, professional first, website,
Mhm.
rate sheet,
Mhm.
professional email where it's not just Gmail or Yahoo.
Yeah, I need to understand how, because I bought my domain stuff, is just
Mm.
how to like get it to go ahead and work with Google. That's what I haven't got for the Rhino Justice one.
So if you just go to Google, let me see if I can show you real quick. It's pretty easy. Let's see. So if you just go to Google or just go Gmail actually. Oh, it's going to open up in my Gmail. Okay. So if you actually just go to Google Workspace,
Mhm.
let's see. Google, yeah, Google Workspace or even Google My Business is a good one too. You can actually get a lot from that. Just go Google Workspace and it'll just walk you through it. It'll say, do you already have a domain? You'll say, yes, I have a domain, and it's easy. It's really
Okay.
easy. And
Okay.
it's like they'll try to sell you on the $24 a month one. Just say compare pricing and then click on $7. I just signed up for one for a real estate company that we started.
Okay.
So yeah, just I would definitely do that. That's a big thing. And then make sure you watch the videos where I talk in the challenge, the 10K challenge. I break down like make sure you have your the counties, all the counties you serve in the signature line.
Mhm.
Because one thing they always do is they search when they go to their email, they search counties. And the way that counties are broken down usually is sometimes districts, but usually they're searching Butte County, Yuba County, whatever that county is. And when they search Yuba County or just the word Yuba County, and I have in my thing Yuba, my email I sent them once, months ago maybe, is going to pop up in their search. And my subject line is like, welcome to 123 e-file makes legal support easy, whatever your subject line is. So they get to continuously see this little ad inside their emails until they delete it, and they asked for that email when you called them. So if you understand the full cycle of why we're calling, is like calling, getting permission, getting the email sent, knowing who I'm going to call and follow up with, getting in their email inbox, and then it's living in there. And then maybe I would say don't do this. Don't send a follow-up email like I told Latrice to,
Mhm.
unless you're going to watch the videos that I teach where I teach how to do the newsletter. I'm going to go into it way more though here in the future. Pretty soon actually. I'm going to finish the marketing modules and I'm going to go through it, but there is some stuff in there already and on YouTube. And YouTube how to create a newsletter. But I would say until you've called 1,000 people and got emails, I mean, of 1,000 attorneys and emailed them, I would not do any follow-up. None.
Okay.
Just get all those emails out into the universe so that you can follow up with those people. Then when I pull a list to call for real estate, and I want to call like and spend like a week or maybe even a month calling, it's no less than 1,000, because you need volume so that you can get the 10 out of 100 that talk to you, and the 10 out of 1,000 to actually sign up with whatever you have going on. So that's just marketing numbers.
I have a question because I don't know if this ever happened to you, like in California, like because I'm not sure exactly where you were, but like so I'm in like I'm south of Houston, so I do part of like Houston. What's hard is I know like people like so it's Harris County, but I know Harris County could be like it could be 100 miles from my house.
Yeah.
Like and other people be like, well, we want it broken down by counties. It's hard to say, oh, well, I'm going to go ahead and serve the county because certain areas I could do cheaper. But other areas, you know, if I'm going to have to travel and it's going to be almost a 2 hour drive. So I don't know if you've ever had that where you had to break down prices for the counties, or I don't know,
Yeah.
what would you do in that situation?
Yeah, so I'd actually like to I have something I'd like to say, but I'd like to know what some of you guys that are on this call do to separate your counties. I know I can see a few people on here I know that I've helped with this, and they have it in action, and so I think you guys could probably speak to this a lot. We'll start with Jacob.
What's up, Mike? Hey guys, sorry for all the noise. I'm in the vehicle right now, headed back
fine.
to Brazos, Texas. But yeah, we since we started, we have always charged different rates per county, for the most part, because of the its complexity, right?
I think you might. Is that me?
I don't know. I can't. I think it's breaking up.
Yeah, I think you're breaking up,
So,
buddy.
am I breaking up?
Yeah, a little bit.
Um,
There you go.
so okay, is that better? So
Yeah,
yeah,
try again.
travel time, complexity, all of those things we factor in. We've always factored in into the different counties. So we do charge different rates for different counties. So you know those things that you're saying are right. Like you know, if from your home office, you know, if it's going to be an hour and a half to get to the serve, and if you've got to do 3 attempts in the state of Texas minimum, that's a lot of driving. You know, to and from. So you do have to factor that in, and we do. We always have charged a different rate for the counties.
How do you break up one county? Because that's what is hard. Is like Harris County is a huge county. Like I said, from one side to another could be a 2.5 hour drive from one side of the county to the other. And so that's what my part is. I know people are like, oh, break it down by counties. And I'm like, well, I can't quite, I haven't been breaking it down per county for Harris County because, like I said, a 2.5 hour drive is different than me driving a half an hour for them.
Right.
You know, depending on where it's at.
Have you like do you know what your competitors rates are for that, like Harris County? Like on one of the calls I remember Mike did that, where you know he called and he said, hey, you know, I need to serve in this particular area. You know, maybe you could check like, hey, I've got to serve going to this side of Harris County, and then I've got to serve in this side. Do y'all change the rates and see what some of the competitors are doing, so you kind of have an idea what the market flow looks like?
So I know my competitors usually are anywhere, and it's crazy because some of them are from 80 to like 150. So it's like it's hard for me to have been trying to market what mine is. Like I'm not trying to like, you know, go too high, not trying to go too low. Because when I went too low, a lot of people are like, you're doing way too low. Like you need to bring it up. Like so I brought it up a little bit. But they also say they don't break it up in the whole county. And I'm like, how can you not for like $80? $80 if I was going to the one that's, you know, almost 2 hours from my house, I'm not gonna make anything if I have to go out there, you know, 3 to 4 times.
Yeah,
So
no, I definitely agree with that. Yeah.
that's just
Yeah,
what's
pricing.
you know, maybe if I had volume out there, but if I'm only doing 1 or 2 serves, it's it's a whole most you would do, you know, 8 hour, you know, it'd be like 4 hours per serve 4 times. That's craziness to do it for the $80.
Oh, definitely. You know, I know that, you know, since I've been doing this and been in communication with Mike over the years, I know he's got a great perspective on it because California serves, where he was in Chico and, all the different mountain areas and all of that stuff. I remember Mike used to get a hotel room and spend the night in one area because he used to call it his bucket. He would have a bucket on the front seat that he would take a picture of, and he'd have like, I don't know, like 50 serves or something crazy. And he would go do a full day and then the next morning get up and do the second full day and work his way back home. So I know he's got a good answer for you, probably better than mine. And but that I do recommend, maybe you break the city up into quadrants,
Oh,
and
that
and
makes a good
and then you
idea.
do have a difference in pricing, right? So north, east, south, west,
Mm,
or whatever that may be, and
yeah,
then you set your pricing up like that. And you'd have to definitely be strategic, look at the map, and then kind of quadrant it off, right? And
yeah.
then somebody, orders in this particular area, okay, that's in Q1 or that's in Q2, Q3, Q4, maybe something like that, since it is so huge.
That's a good idea. Thank you for that.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah, thanks, Jacob. I love that. Yeah, I'll give you guys what I think here in a second, but that's exactly right. There's different stages of your business too, where you're going to change how you do it, and that's something we'll talk about too. Mr. Sean, you had a comment on this?
And Jacob kind of stole my thunder there. I was gonna say where I live, one of the counties, like the east part of the county, is where like all of the residential areas are, the cities, and in the the west part of the county is more like where the mountains are. So I broke the county down in east and west, and I have a one price for the east part of the county where most of the work is, where you can pick up some volume, and then anything I have to go west, out in the country, up in the mountains, I have a totally different rate for, and I included that on the rate sheet. So yeah, they know. And then also, I mean, just try to find somebody out there that that you can shoot, a couple dollars to take care of it for you. If you don't want to drive 2.5 hours.
Love it, love it. Great stuff. Love it, Sean. Yeah, I would say on this, thinking about where you're at, like if you're brand new and you're out there serving, maybe getting paid $80, having to pay for gas, and then still having $20 in your pocket is the thing to do. So that because you've never been to that area or something, or some other reason why you've justified it in your mind, but it's not really a great business choice. Okay, so there's that. And then there's the thing where you've been there 100 times. You don't want to go there ever again. You're only going there because this one client is like your best client, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then you build while you're there. Like there's this place called Quincy up in the mountains of Chico, past Chico up there in the mountains. It's about 2.5 hour drive. And there's only one lady who had served there. Poor lady got cancer. She was out for a few months. And so I was driving up there to serve people, and I charged $500, which wasn't enough. $500 to go up there, sit around, finally get it served. One time I had to serve 7 firefighters. I charged $3,000, which I would give them a discount. I went up there and served 7 firefighters on some fire. It was subpoenas to testify. And while I was up there, before I went up there, I called a bunch of notaries. I love notaries. I called a bunch of notaries and I was like, hey, I'm coming up there. I got to serve some people. If I can't serve them tonight, I'm going to stay the night, try to serve them in the morning. If I can't serve them, I was wondering if maybe you wanted to make $50. I mean, literally $50 for a notary. They're getting $100 to sit there for a whole hour and stamp documents and be intelligent and have this conversation. Like $50 is a lot of money. They're like, I just got to drop it off. Okay. And they're like calling to schedule with the person and stuff. And like, yeah, I just have a paper for you. It's looks like it's a legal document. It's in an envelope. And then she served all the firefighters, like, cause they weren't there the night or the next morning. And she served all these firefighters. I think I ended up giving her about $250, and I got like 3,000 something dollars, like with credit card fees and everything. And but the lady and a couple of the other ladies, I had sent those notaries work in that area many times. And you might be like, well, Mike, these are notaries, not process servers. In California, you can serve up to 10 papers without being registered. And if you are registered, and then but you also might say, Well, Mike, they're not registered, so this one client I have won't use them. Well, who's your client? ABC Legal. Okay, well, have ABC Legal figure it out. Like, good luck. They're not going to find somebody up in that area. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
They need somebody boots on the ground, and you are boots on the ground. So you have to charge what your time is going to be worth, depending on the level that you're at. It might change. So don't think that one person's answer is the way to go. In regards to the different counties, how big your county is, um, because of the stage I'm at. Okay, so let me preface with that. Because where I'm at, I don't want to drive around. So, and if I do have to drive around, I want to be paid. So, but I have plenty of business coming in. So what I would do is I would charge $147, which is what I charge, and then I would make sure that it's high enough, whatever fee it is. Actually, it could be 200. Okay, it needs to be enough that it'll cover a server if you were gone. And I'm gonna tell you what, there's a guy in town. I buy businesses, right? It's one of the things I do. I buy them, try to get 50% off on a business. I'll buy it all day. And there's a guy in town that has a tire shop. One of my first jobs was a tire technician. I could change a set of four tires in less than 10 minutes. Like, I was so fast. And I just prided myself in that. I worked for Les Schwab. I don't know if anyone's in NorCal or Oregon. I worked for Les Schwab. I'd run around and just, as I was in my 20s. And I thought to myself, I could open a tire shop. So I asked this guy one day, he changes the tires. He seems like when he first opened his shop, he was all happy. And then months later, I keep going to him. He tells me $20 for a flat repair. I give him 40. This is kind of the relationship I had. So it was good. So when I show up one day, just yesterday actually, I said I had a same when you haul dumpsters, you get flats and stuff. I'm getting to the point, promise. So yeah, so when you haul dumpsters to the dump, you get a lot of flats. So I came back in and I said, hey, I got another flat, man. He goes, I got you, and but he was like serious, quiet. And I was like, what's going on? You okay? He's like, oh, the cold is getting to me. And, da, da, da. And I was like, well, if you ever think about selling, maybe I'll buy your business. And he goes, yeah, yeah, okay. And then I saw him later on that day and he goes, thanks, Latrice. Thank you so much. I'm happy to call for you too. I don't know if you sent me any on, didn't see them come in, but we can do that again later on. Thank you for coming. So he tells me, he goes, later on, I saw him, I'd come back by because he wasn't available at the time. So I come back by and he goes, yeah, I thought about it. I think I'll sell my business for 120,000. And I thought to myself, I was like, oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that's interesting. I'll have to take a look at it. Maybe I'll be interested in that. But I looked at it and like he had just moved in there. So anyway, the point is he has no employees. It's him and his wife. What am I buying? Some equipment? I'm not buying a business. I'm buying equipment because there's no employees in place that will do the work for him while he's gone. I have to do the work. Does he have a list of customers? Maybe. Does he have, like when I bought the dumpster company, I bought the company because he had a phone number that had reviews on Google. That's all. That's the only reason. Otherwise, I was just buying equipment. So when you're building your business, you got to look at it like you're building a business. And when you're charging $147 and you get, let's say you get one job and it takes forever to get a job because everybody wants to do it for 80, let's say, that's what you're thinking, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
well, you have your website say 147. Attorneys call for special rates. Attorneys and affiliates call for special rates. And you're going to get phone calls. Do you answer your phone?
Yes.
A lot
There's
of people.
there's been like once or twice where I haven't, but it's usually because I'm on a serve during that time. So I can't answer my phone if I'm knocking at a door.
Yeah, you got to call back. You just got to call back.
Yeah.
And yeah, good. Because that's one of the number one things that people don't do. Is Jeff still on here? It drives Jeff crazy. These people don't answer their phones, and he's trying to use the directory. He's sending work out all over the country, and they're just not answering their phones. So you answering your phone and getting all your marketing stuff dialed in. Those of you guys that are like, well, I can't afford a website. Free website, $27 per month for the hosting. It's better than you're going to get at GoDaddy even because we have the templates for process servers already built. There's 4 templates you guys can get set up in 15 minutes. Change out a logo, $27, like it's a no-brainer, right? MightyWebsiteBuilder.com. Okay. You don't have an online order form or any of the other things I'm telling you about, but people can do a request, quote request right on your website. So, yeah, so there's a lot of stuff going on here, Adele, that we could keep going on, but the main thing is just keep making them phone calls and have a rate sheet that you could email people from an email that looks professional, and people will go. People will use you. Or, and there's nothing against you, Adele, because I love you. You're amazing. You come to these meetings, you give so much value, and you're in the community doing stuff. You're trying. You're working hard. You got kids. There's so many reasons why I want to see you succeed,
Thank you.
but most people don't.
Oh, I will.
Okay.
It's not option. I will succeed.
Okay. I believe you. And I know that everyone else on this call and people who are watching the replay, um, people are going to comment on YouTube that they know you will too. They support you in that. And that's what's cool about this community is we're growing something that's going to help each other. That's what I want. Jessica, I know a big part of me making it 10K was because I charge higher prices. Ah, I love it. Yes. Yeah, you charge higher prices on your website, and then when you're because you're not getting a whole lot of work yet, if you make it very clear, maybe even a banner that's a different color at the top, something saying affiliates and attorneys call for special rates, you're going to still get the work because when they look at your website and they see the high rate, they're not just going to not call you. They want to call you anyway. Most attorneys, or sorry, most affiliates want to call you. I've never gotten a random job from an affiliate that didn't have a phone call attached to it. Same thing with dumpsters and other stuff. Attorneys, however, and pro se's will order on your website. They will. They'll just randomly order on your website.
I have a question on with affiliates because my thing I would say in any other job I was doing before is delegating work. So that's giving work to affiliates is my hardest thing to say I would have to do because of doing the work properly. And that's when in the past I've delegated work to people and they don't do it correctly. And that's my hardest thing is trying to say, would I give my work out? Because that's my name being basically stamped on it. And I want you to do the work as good as I would do it.
That's the hardest part of any. That's the hardest part of any business. And
Sean?
sorry, and I don't mean to jump in, but
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, I had a courier, I had a courier business, delivery business for, since 2002, and I had to shut it down because of COVID. And when you are buying trucks and vans and having people drive your vehicles around with your name on the side of the truck, that's a big risk to take. So don't be afraid to just lay the law down and say, look, this is my neck on the line. But obviously be friendly about it, because you're the one who has something to lose, not them.
Yeah.
Yeah, love that, Sean. Love that. The other thing too, on that is maybe you don't go anywhere else. Like the girl who served in Quincy that I was telling you about, and up in the mountains, she only served Quincy, and she charged $150. And she didn't care if you didn't like her rate. That's how much she charged, and you had to pay it. And guess what? You were happy to pay it because you didn't want to have to drive. If you're someone like me who sends stuff all over the country, you're trying to figure it out. Your client already pays you, and now you got to find somebody to serve it. And let me tell you, ABC Legal does it the same way. They take the payment, they take the client, they get the $180 or whatever they charge. You look at their rates, you're like, oh no, they're only charging 80. How are they making any money? Or 50 or whatever in the different areas. No, they charge more. They charge a surcharge, they charge a rural fee, they do follow-up invoices. I'm not saying ABC specifically. I've never worked there. Okay. I'm just saying like I've worked for these companies. I know how they operate because I've seen their bills. I've seen it attached to, different things. So I had to call an affiliate for status yesterday. It used to be an opportunity to connect, motivate, and yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you, sending stuff out is probably one of the hardest things. It is one of the hardest things. And so if you can become the key person in your local area and refer things out to other people, you could get a name for yourself that way too. I've mentioned that to people. You say, oh no, this freeway is as far as I go. They're like, but it's just over there. It's just a little bit further. Listen, there's a great server over there. Her name's Julia, and she does a great job. That's who I like to send stuff to. And she's done a great job for me. I don't know. You got to vet her yourself. Give her a call. That actually has a lot of value because when they call, just let her know that I called. Let her know that I sent you. because she sends me work too, and I just want her to know I'm grateful. And that attorney's going to appreciate that because you're not forwarding something and trying to take a little bit of money on something that you maybe aren't going to manage properly. So it's self-awareness is a big part of this. Understanding like do you have things in place? Like I got a team of virtual assistants that if I had to go away for a month, they would know exactly what to do. If you don't have that in place, well then it's you. And if it's you and you're like I'm in the car all day and I can't manage serves out of town, then you have to be self-aware about that and say, well, how am I going to manage these? One quick way that I would say if you're trying to do that and you're just getting started and you don't have a lot of money to do it, is to go on Google Calendar
Mhm.
and create events. You know how in Google Calendar you can make an extra one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make a new calendar, call it forward, serves forwarded or forwarded calendar, whatever you want to call it. You forwarder. If you're a forwarder, that's what I was calling one of the levels before, because that's what ABC Legal and all these. That's basically what they're doing. They're taking work and they're forwarding it to us. They're not doing the work themselves at all, except for maybe in one area of the country, right? So you create this Google Calendar. You give it, if you have a server software or something, you give it a number, order number as the subject line. And then inside the description, you put all the details, who you sent it to, everything. You create a reminder, and for a certain date, let's say a week, 2 or 3 days from now, a reminder for whenever you want status, and then put the person you sent it to's email in that calendar. It's going to drive some people crazy, but it doesn't matter. You need status, and Google will bug the heck out of them for you. You don't have to
Mhm.
call them.
Oh,
And
that's
then
nice.
what you do is you go and you look at the calendar and you go, oh, today I got 3 status checks I need to do. Don't do it every day. There's no sense in doing it every day. If they do a routine service and you send it to them 72 hours, put it for 72, maybe the day after 72 hours, that morning, 9 a.m. You know I need status no later than the day after the 72-hour mark. Like you said you were going to make an attempt within 72 hours. Where's my attempt? That's a reasonable request, right? So you put that the day after on Google Calendar and they'll get a reminder that day. Set your reminders to show up the same day, like an hour before the time starts on 9 a.m. on the day after. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I have a question, and I mean, I guess I could side chat, but like, or like, I mean, this probably for everybody, but sometimes I feel like things are like state specific, especially like, with like Texas, we have to be certified, and like, probably
Right,
California
yeah.
have your own rules. But how is everybody doing like with paperwork? Like, I have been told when I first went ahead and got certified, you keep your paperwork for the end of time because somebody can come back, which the guy that trained me said it was like 15 years later, he went ahead and got called in for somebody that was like, going ahead and questioning the serve, and he had the information still, because if not, he's seen it where they've been called into court, they're questioning the serve, the person didn't have the stuff that said what happened with the serve. What are people doing when they like, one, if you aren't staying with the same server company, or like I have paperwork, like I already have boxes from just like the last year of it. Do I just keep it on that? Are people doing thumb drives? Like, do people just throw it away and just keep it on thumb drives?
Yeah. I don't know. Texas, I don't, as far as who here's from Texas wants to comment on. I know Jacob is. When it comes to your business in general, you got to keep records of things, and I just do it all online. Keep it
Mm.
all virtual. Pay Google Drive the fee they ask, and it's pretty cheap. And then you can always come back and get stuff. You never know. Your whole office could burn down, and then you. The other thing too is by keeping records that you're legally liable. Like if somebody sues you, you
Oh,
have to produce those records if they exist. And so there's different sides of the coin. But Mr. Jacob, you're muted.
Oh, sorry guys, I just got home. So yeah, I pretty much, over the years had kind of taken on a practice. I use the field sheet, and the field sheet keeps my notes,
yep.
from my attempts and everything else. And I would box up the field sheets for about a year or so. Every January, if they've been there for 2 years, then we would shred them and get rid of them. I'm a little old school, I'm not really into upload it, put it on thumb drive, all of those fancy things. It's probably working a lot smarter doing it that way than the way I would do it. But I would box them up, and I had,
That's
boxes
what
of
I
those.
that's what I feel like I'm old school. Like the paper goes in, the folders, I have it
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, and that's what works for me. You're just gonna have to kind of figure out, and then your level of comfortability, right? Like, um, because how much, you know, do you need it for how long? And I know one of the guys here locally that I've been in contact with for many, many years that does the trainings. When I got recertified recently, I believe he said 2 years, if I remember right on the training, but that he recommended. You keep whatever, but there's also the other factor, right? Like Mike said, there's you know of having too much information. I'll be honest, I worked with the courts for 22 years. I was a juvenile probation officer. I was a probation officer who reported to the court weekly, about cases, and I dealt with a lot of legal documents, right? And the best answer is the correct answer always, right? Whatever the truth is. So if you don't have recollection, you don't have recollection. But, if they ask you, do you have this documented somewhere, and you got it sitting at home somewhere, I'll say this, you know, establish whatever the practice is and just stick to it, and be consistent in it. So if you ever have to testify, you can testify to what your practice is. Does that make sense? Like, in other words, if it's you keep them for 12 months and then you shred them, then that's the answer, right? I keep them for 12 months, Mr. Attorney, and after the 12-month mark every January 15th, I shred them. To my recollection, this is how it went down. That's it, you know?
Yeah.
And
I,
that's also where a body camera can come in handy too. A
Sure.
lot of times if people see you wearing a body camera, they're not going to question service because they're not going to try to perjure themselves.
Right. I use
So
Adele, I use the timestamp. I use the timestamp app. It's free. So with every serve, or attempt that I do, I take a photo of the home. Brendan, I recently did some serves for Brendan. I uploaded those photos, so it timestamps that I was there, the date and time, and uh, location and address, all that good stuff. And that's another element, just to cover yourself, right?
Yeah.
What reason did you have to be there other than serve somebody?
Mm-hmm.
And who in their right mind would go there and not do what they were hired to do, right? Like, so they can argue against it, but the fact of the matter is when you have that timestamp photo, that's just one more element. But definitely, like I think Sean was saying, I'm not sure who it was on the call, but next level is the camera and those things for sure.
Does anybody have like a good option for cameras? Because I've tried like two, but like from people and they haven't worked very well. Like it doesn't, like sometimes it'll record, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it'll take pictures, sometimes it doesn't. Does anybody have any but thing with that? Because I could say is I was surprised and I was told one time that I served a deceased person. I went back, had video with my actual phone, and the guy was like so surprised, like, why are you back out here serving? But it was just to prove it was a server had given me the business and stuff, but I proved like that was the guy. He wasn't deceased. I served him. I'm like, how can I serve a deceased person and the person wasn't deceased? I was like, that doesn't work that way. So I was able to prove it, but I'm not sure who, like what one of the cameras are that people are using that would be better. Because like I said, I've tried two different ones and they are off Amazon. They have been on the cheaper side. Maybe that might be the reason being, but like sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't.
Adele, I'll message you. This is Sean. I'll direct message you in the school app.
Okay.
One that I use. It's about 100. I mean, I bought it. I think it was $180. I think now you can get it for like 150. I've been using it for 3 years and it has never let me down.
Oh, nice. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Good stuff. Adele, you're full of questions today. I love it.
I am.
love-
I felt like bad yesterday. I was having a bad day. So I'm like, all right, let me change this around today.
Give me 3 more. I want 3 more. Come on. Come on. No.
I have another question. I forgot what my other question was too. I had one too before I asked the camera question.
Yeah. That's okay. Think about it. What I posted your thing inside of school. I think that's a great question, and actually I saw Dan Burlett.
Yeah, that
I,
was who I did my training through, and he
yeah,
said keep them forever.
yeah. I posted, so he's probably going to say that in the community too.
Yeah, so that's what I'm like. I have boxes. I have like, and that's the whole thing is I think we're getting sometimes burnt out is going out into the like field and you have to come home. You're entering everything into your serve company. Then like I have to once they get paid, I have to go ahead and bring out all my field sheets. I write down on my field sheet literally, got paid on this day, and like if it was paid through Stripe, ACH, Zelle, so I have it all on records. But I'm like, geez, if I already have 2 boxes for this past year, if I keep going, I'm just gonna have to have a storage unit to like be keeping all my records in. If I have to keep them for life, like Dan, that's what Dan had said when I got trained 2 years ago.
And the storage unit will be a tax write-off.
I guess true that.
I can see that. I can see that. So when we do the next Amazon challenge, I'm gonna send Adele and Sean some fancy cameras so we can see their beautiful faces.
That would be awesome.
Love
I'm
it.
driving right now, and nobody needs to see the set because I'm just driving. That's
Nobody
all.
see the angle. See this angle. That's how I was. Yeah. No, it's good, man. Look at this good looking man. Look at that beard.
Yeah.
Straight
I
back
guess
from
I guess my other question just would be like, okay, I know that you kind of like I think put this out on school or might even like one of the group stuff like that about process serving software. So I've tried PST. I wasn't able to do PST like that. Just was like it just was I don't know. Going from Serve Manager to PST was hard, and so I
I've been
didn't do
there.
it. And
I've been
so
there.
Serve Manager all day long, I just know that a lot of people have said, okay, well, they're, vetting your clients. I don't want Serve Manager taking my clients if I'm going out here putting all this work in to get clients. But my other question would be of I have tried Rocket. I like Rocket so far, but how does any of that can that be integrated into our websites?
I don't Rocket, I believe, yeah, I believe they have a form. I want to put it to the community here. A question relates to what you're saying here in a second, but what I would say is when it comes to Serve Manager and them taking your clients and stuff like that, through InfoTrack, it's not it. What I'm starting to learn as I learn more about this whole process that they have going on and talking to many of you guys about it too, actually, it's kind of like thinking that Google is going to take your clients. Look at it at that scale. That's the scale we're talking about. It's not like some individual is going to take your clients, some other process serving agency is going to take your clients. No, this is the behemoth that now has 90% or 70% of the business across the country, and they want to streamline getting things served. And so they went out, literally a behemoth. They went out and they bought a bunch of companies, the top companies in the country. Green Filing, One Legal, Serve Now, Serve Manager, that whole Legal Talk network, all of that stuff. They bought all of it, and they want to, because they have all the contract, a lot of these big contracts with Chase, Wells Fargo, all these, right? And they want to streamline it. So, yeah, it's something to be concerned about for sure when it first came out. But looking at it now, I'm like, actually, you're probably going to get work from these people, and they're probably going to pay a decent amount of money. So if they're already your attorney clients, could they reach out to them and potentially do work with them? Yes, they could. But the question I want to present to you guys, and the software thing, I'll just say, whatever software you're going to use, it actually use to make the customer experience better, that's the one you should use. If PST is too complicated, don't use it. Like, just go ahead and use Serve Manager. I like PST because I'm more techie, right? I get into the weeds on things and can this automate this? Can this automate that? And Serve Manager will automate your online ordering forms, whether it's Serve Manager or I believe that Rocket Serve, or I think that's what it's called. I believe he basically just copied Serve Manager. It looks exactly like Serve Manager, so I'm pretty sure he integrates with Zapier too.
But yeah, they heard that with the
Yeah.
Zapier.
If they integrate with Zapier, then FormStack will automatically get put into there. So for those of you guys that are like Zapier, all these things, basically you can receive online orders through our website building company, Mighty Website Builder. Will build your website, build a form. So whenever somebody fills out that form, it'll automatically, if you choose to, then you can have it automatically get put in as a new job in your Serve Manager account, or PST, whichever one. I don't know that it's Rocket Serve. If Rocket Serve allows for Zapier, then we can do that with them too. And you can do it on your own too using Zapier.
Okay.
So my question to all of you guys now is, do you think, because I know what I think and I made it pretty obvious, right? But what do you guys think? Do you think that your customer is going to start using a big box company that they can hardly ever get on the phone? That if you've been serving for them and you've been doing a great job for them?
Absolutely not. This is why it's important to build those relationships. I mean, I even though they know I'm a Maryland process server, if they need somebody served in Florida or Texas or whatever, they always come to me first. And then I always get it done for them. So that's I think it's important to just build those relationships and make them not want to leave, even if they do get a $20 discount. It's they want that peace of mind knowing that, hey, you know what, I'm familiar with Sean. I know if I send it to him, he's going to get the job done. I don't need to worry about it. I don't need to track him down. I don't know. I think that relationship is worth it more to them than going with some big company. That's all.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, your relationship with them is everything. Anybody else?
Well, I was just gonna say is, do any of you guys use more than one like software company? Because you get jobs like you have, like with me, like I said, though, I think I use two. And one, it's because my new clients I'm all putting right now currently into Rocket. I don't put anything in a Serve Manager, but I have a lot of the server companies that I work for use Serve Manager, so I use that. And then my PST customers just usually give me a login. So I don't know, does everybody just use one software? Do you guys use multiples? Do you pay
I
for
used to
multiples?
use two prior when I was working for Mike when he was here, and the other company did not support me as PST did. I'll grant you this, there was a learning curve for PST, but I will tell you this, I got excellent support from them, from all of them. And they walked me through the part that I was pulling my hair out. And just, I was ready to throw the computer out the garage at that point. And then they walked me through it. And after they did that, once I learned that step, I was able to go out in the field and do everything from the field. And then when I come home, just auto sign the proofs of service and send them to the clients and be done with them. You will have a learning curve no matter what software you go with. I have my counterpart in San Francisco who does work down there, and we collaborate, work back and forth on our own. But I had people using Serve Manager sending work through PST, and I had other people with other clients sending work through PST as well at the time. And they would collaborate with me, or they would just send me their job from whatever software they're using, and I would log the software and do the attempts through them directly. You may want to look at that as an alternative.
Yeah.
Nice.
So one comment on that is that there's NAPS actually, PST actually partnered with NAPS and made something called the Secure Document Trading Center. And I'm going to post a link in the chat for those of you guys that are interested. You could, whether you have PST, Serve Manager, there's a bunch of other smaller ones. Rocket Serve used to be called Loyal Puppy or something crazy. And so if you go to this link, you'll see whatever one you have, you can actually tie it to Secure Document Trading Center and send work to. So someone couldn't have Serve Manager, you enter it as a job, and you can send it through the Secure Document Trading Center to their PST, so they don't have to do the data entry. And it's a way of sending documents back and forth. And for those of you guys who are just getting started, maybe you're like, this seems like extra work. It is extra work. But the reason why you at least know about it is because if you get a big contract with people, they're going to say, how do you send work to other servers? What is your process for ensuring that these documents are not being hacked or stolen by third party bad actors that can hack into
Mm.
stuff, right? This is your way of showing, well, actually, I'm a part of a professional association and, the Secure Document Trading Center. Do you have to be a member of NAPS? I don't think so. I really don't. If you do, then join NAPS. You should join NAPS anyways. Right? NAPS is awesome. So, yeah, look, it wants you, the link I gave you actually has you registering for Secure Document Trading Center through NAPS. Oh, no, it has you registering. I haven't used this in forever, but it's something for you to know about because if you want to send work from other people or get work from other people securely, you can say, "Hey, I have a Secure Document Trading Center account." You tell someone like Mike Kern that, or what's his name, Charles Profit over on the East Coast, or these people have been in the industry a while. They're like, "Oh, great, what's your number?" And they'll just boom, plug it in, and it's all inside their system automatically, and they love that. So, but again, Adele, entering it into two different platforms. I don't want to hate on Robert and Rocket Server or anything like that, but these guys based in the Philippines, they have like their. I'm not hating on him at all. I want you to know whatever server software you want to use, I think is fine. I'm just saying like you don't. I really genuinely don't think you need to worry about these guys trying to take your clients unless you're not providing status and you're not getting serves done on time. I mean, think about this. Any client that you have, are they secret attorneys? Are they
No.
ninja secret attorneys that aren't online?
Nope.
Could I find them on Google right now and call them?
More than likely.
And if I could call them and get and be the backup, okay, and you drop the ball and you don't do a good job, what are the chances of them considering another server? They're pretty good. They're like, she dropped the ball. Let me try this other person, right? Well, these big box companies don't even have that. They're not going to do that. Does that make sense? Like if they
Mhm.
call them, they're saying, "Hey, we have this software system. We have a network of servers all over the country. Send it to us for this other price." They may try them because they might be cheaper. I'm giving you worst case scenarios, right? They
Mhm.
may try them because they might be cheaper, but they're not going to stay with them because you these big box companies do not have the ability to keep up with individual servers, that white glove treatment. I genuinely believe that. You're not true, they might have more money where they could pay a bigger staff to do things, but they're all about volume. And volume means create a ticket. Like go to their website, you have a problem, create a ticket, wait to see if you're going to know what's going on with your job and you have a hearing tomorrow morning. It doesn't work that way. It ain't
Okay.
going to fly.
That's my biggest thing is just having them take it away because they might get cheaper than what I could give to them. Because I believe us going ahead and charging premium stuff is because we are going ahead and providing a service. Yes, we are serving papers. And that's why I think a lot of people are like, oh, you're just a server. You just pass out papers. I mean, I did say it last night. I never in my entire world would have thought I'm getting paid. Because like right now, tomorrow I have a stack of papers. If I serve all my papers, I'll get paid $900. Like I never thought in my entire world would I go ahead and get paid for that. But we also are providing a service, making sure it's done, make sure it's done correctly. Your attempts, having your different things, putting the correct stuff on the paperwork, just so that that's not, there's other stuff that comes with it. But I believe it is a service. As long as we're doing everything we can, we should be paid accordingly.
Yeah, I mean it's a free market, right? So if somebody came in like I'm thinking about making a software that is very basic that allows you to receive through Zapier or through an online form a job no matter where it comes from, and not charging for it. Like if you're a member of the directory, just have it set up where people could just very basically send jobs to each other, and if you get a job and then you could do a proof of service, all of that is possible. I might go down that road if I think that none of these companies are serving you at the highest level and they're putting you first. That I'm going to do it, especially if there is no basic option anymore as things start to get more advanced. Like Serve Manager had it down because they had a simple software. They do have a simple software that is super easy to understand that gets the job done. And that's what we want as process servers. That's what we want. But when you start to complicate it with a lot of other things, and now it's like, well, you have my client, people get weary. And so
Mhm.
I'm not going to start a whole thing and like compete with them. If anything, it'll be a jobs board that I've been thinking about this a lot. Like, how cool would it be? I was talking to Dan actually from Texas. How cool would it be if we had a jobs board where if you're a member and you're logged in, you can see all the jobs in your state. And you're like, well, I got nothing to do today. Let me bid on this one. And you send a bid. And if the attorney hits approved, and then you get paid automatically because they have an account. And then and then it'll come off the jobs board. It's no longer available.
Hmm.
And I think that would be so much more valuable for a serve manager or InfoTrack, to do something like that, and they could afford it. But keeping it private is how they make more money because they can charge 100. I'm not saying them, just big companies in general. If I'm charging $180 and I could pay you 25, why would I make that public?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Why would I make that public? I wouldn't. And so if I can instead do something where you maintain that relationship with the attorney, that's key. So if there's a jobs board and the attorneys start to learn like, hey, I can actually pay less by going to the group of like when you think of about getting an independent person to do a logo for you, what do you guys think of?
I think that Mike said he would do mine for free, so he needs to start working on it.
For free?
That's what you
Sure.
said back in the day. Let me find the YouTube that you said it on.
Well, you must have took a nap, girl, because how
I know
long
it's
ago was
been
that?
I told you I went ahead and I had problems. I had health
Yeah, I
issues.
know. Yeah, I mean, a logo is not a big deal, but a website,
Yeah.
you definitely gotta. But yeah, so Rhino Justice is just a great idea, great company name. You just gotta take action and like get the clients coming in, get those. But having the ability to be able to bid on jobs like a Craigslist jobs board, where it's like scrolling down and if once it's taken, they remove it. That would be a really cool thing for servers to be able to. There's nothing like that. The answer I was looking for was Fiverr. When you think about somebody who's going to do something for you, like create a sheet for you or something, you go to Fiverr.com and they just have all these freelancers that'll work for you. You guys are basically freelancers for process serving. You don't work for a giant firm where you have a salary and health benefits and all this kind of stuff. You're out there pounding the pavement on your own you know so having the ability, or maybe you have a partner or whatever, but if you had the ability to have a jobs board, that might be cool. So but anyway, competitive. Oh yeah, that was my point, is it's a free market. So if I have a jobs board and it's cheaper for the attorney to go find somebody on there, and those are the professionals that the big box company is hiring anyway, why wouldn't the attorney just go to them? The short answer is insurance. The big companies can afford a lot of money, thousands of dollars a month in insurance, so that the attorneys are covered if something happens. If a statute of limitations is blown, if somebody gets killed by a dog while they were trying to serve it, right? Whatever it is, like they're covered because these guys have like crazy high insurance premiums. And they can afford it because they have the contract with Chase and Wells Fargo and all these different companies, right? So what you're going after is that individual attorney. Okay, that individual paralegal, maybe there's 4 attorneys in the office and they send out all their serves locally. They tried ABC Legal once in some other city and it didn't work out or whatever. You're going after those people that you're gonna build relationships with locally. That's what the Be the Backup is all about. All right, who do we have on here next? Adele, I have on here. You sent me a message for Zinda. Dell.
Yeah.
All right, let's call him.
Okay.
Rhino Justice.
Thank you for calling Zenadell and Associates. All calls are recorded. Please hold while your call is connected.
I thought he was answering that fast. Houston, Texas.
Yeah. Might be Galveston for that area.
Okay.
Zenadell and Associates.
Hi, this is Mike with Rhino Justice. How are you today?
I'm good. How about you, Mike?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Just winding out the day here. I saw you guys are online now. We're a local process serving company, and I'm pretty sure you guys already have a server. But I was curious if I could send over my rate sheet just in case you guys need a backup.
Okay.
Awesome. What's a good email for you?
Are you local?
Yeah. Well, I have a Orlando cell phone number. Sorry. Yeah. No, but yeah, we're local here, Galveston, Houston area.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can email it to me to legalassistant@zenindel.com and I'll forward it to Mr. Zenindel wherever,
Of course.
need a backup.
Of course, exactly. Yeah. No, I appreciate it. You said legal assistant
Mm-hmm.
at Zendel, the domain name.
Yeah, his last name,
Oh,
Zenindel.com.
Zendel.com. Okay, perfect. I appreciate you. Who's the one that sends out the serves usually?
I know we're in between because ours passed away.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
We're in the process of hiring someone, but I will, throw it in there
Of
that way
course.
to see if, we could, if it works.
Of course. Can you remind me your first name?
Zaira, Zaira.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate your time.
You have a wonderful day.
You as well. Bye.
Get it done.
So
Thank you, Mike.
Did you write it down?
Yes, I did.
So, you're listening to this for the first time. Maybe somebody's hearing this. They're like, what did you accomplish? Who wants to go through what we just accomplished and what's going to happen next? Somebody who thinks they got it down, pat. Somebody's got to have it. You want to do it, Adele?
Okay, so I think you went ahead and you brought my name to them, went ahead and got their information. You know that they are having an issue like with somebody who just died. They need somebody. And so you also got her name so that going ahead and I can personalize the email to her and build report, build report they need somebody. And so if I can give them the white glove service that they need and show them, then I should be there, probably become their number one.
Yes, that's the hope, right? And then what happens once you send the email?
Hopefully they'll go ahead and contact me back. If not, I would go ahead and be doing a follow-up with them.
That's right. But even if they don't contact you anytime soon, inside of your email, you're going to have the rate sheet.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have inside your signature line, very inconspicuously,
all my counties,
all of your counties that you serve, or zip codes. If you grade them out, you could probably do zip codes. I probably wouldn't.
I don't know about it for Houston. That might be way too much.
That's true.
Well,
Texas itself, I don't know how Texas did it. It's just they have like 200 and they have like so many zip codes. I mean,
we just even got a new for Houston. We just got a new area code today. I think it was today or yesterday. So,
of course, because the cell phone carriers are like, we need more. We need something. I have a lot of white text in my signature.
You can't see it at all.
Jessica's a ninja. I love it.
I did want to say I did create a phone number, so hopefully it'll be a good phone number for the area that'll have Rhino in it.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, and let's get you a logo. Let's do something Rhino Justice. I feel like we started something. I don't remember what it was, but I personally want to send it to Fiverr. I want to hire Fiverr. I want Fiverr to do it. I want them to get a picture of a even just a silhouette maybe of a rhino and some cool process serving stuff, maybe some documents in all rolled up inside a rhino's mouth, from a like I could see that being really cool. And then having something on there, Rhino Justice, something, even just RJ, on there, like a cool RJ Rhino Justice or something. I don't know. You got to figure out what you want your brand to be, because once you choose it, you got to hold on to it. Don't change it. I know you've experienced that with your thing, because there was some brand confusion a little bit.
Yeah, I was easy process service and notary.
Yeah.
So with everybody online's like easy this, easy, and I'm like, I'm not part of them. Like, I don't want to be like, or people are like, oh, if it says easy, then that means you're not a good service. I'm like, that is not what this means. Like, I'm a good server. Like, don't put me with that. So that's why I was like, let me rebrand. Let me do something different.
Good stuff. Yeah, I love it. So getting those customers, getting that attorney, getting them an email sent today is like essential, like right away. Okay. I know you were on the VA call and you said Annabelle, detail oriented, and Mark, as a VA, you like Mark. Yeah, both, the VA meeting was so good. There were so many good people on there. Latrice is already gone. She put a attorney in here. We'll wait. We'll do that another time. So anytime you guys on the Thursday calls, I want you to start getting used to, I'm going to be consistent about this, okay? I want you to, if you want me to call an attorney in your market, send me a message on school. I forgot to post that this morning to remind everybody, but send me a message on school before the meeting and I will have your stuff queued up. Okay, you're just going to send me a message that has the attorney's name, your company name. Just make it easy for me, right? We got hundreds of people on here. Just put like your company name, um, your location. For a lot of you guys, I'm already going to know, but just do it anyway. Your location that we're talking about, and then the attorney's information, like their name and phone number. And we're out of time today, but I will call them on Thursdays. Okay, there could be 20. I'll call all of them, and you will see, out of 20, 19 of them. I've learned not to say every single one, but 19 out of 20 will say, "Sure, send it over." And because it's not an unreasonable request, it's a reasonable request. What's unreasonable is for them to say no. Because the time when it comes that where they need a process server and they need a backup, right? They need a new primary or whatever.
Mhm.
You're not in their email. They don't know who you are. They're not going to use you. And they're going to have a hard time going on Google, trying to use ABC, trying to use whoever shows up first on Google. Google is not, Google is a cruel mistress. Okay. You do everything you can to make her happy. And she still goes and visits somebody different. Okay. You can spend all your money on her and she's still going to send you somebody different. So what you have to do is when she's nice to you, appreciate that she's nice to you today. Okay. And capture that lead. Capture that lead. Get them in your system, get them in your follow up, send them a rate sheet. Okay. And have a database. Someone asked about a database earlier. Guys, the only database, and this is another reason I was thinking about doing some type of a job posting board, because all of the softwares out there right now, they somehow missed the memo that process servers are business owners. Like they don't have a CRM. There's no way to create a drip campaign or emails, or how do I make notes in the system about, they have that, actually they have that, but that's it. Other than being able to look at your client list and say what they owe you, there's no way to reach out to them. So have a CRM until I build one. Okay. Have a CRM, and the best one I've found is called Pipedrive. And I put it in the chat over on the side earlier. I also put a link to all my favorite tools. Let me see. Let's see here. Road Warrior question. Okay, these are my favorite tools. And it's inside the community under the top 10 or the first Start Here course. There you go. I'm making my database now. Great job, Brendan. Yeah. Start your database, start putting them in there. You're going to love, I'm telling you, you're going to love Pipedrive. You can connect it to your dialer, where you don't have to have a dialer inside of it. It'll just connect to whatever dialer you have. If you have an iPhone, you can connect it to your click to call. So while you're in Pipedrive, you can click on a phone number and it'll just start calling on yourself on your Mac. If you're in the Stone Age and you have a Samsung, I'm just kidding. I have a Samsung too. On the floor there, you can actually use Dialpad or Ring Central or something, so you can do a click to call. But you got to have a pipeline of new and reoccurring business that you're staying in touch with. And as humans, we're day to day. I'm hungry. Let me go eat. I got to use the restroom. Let me go. I'm sleepy. Let me go sleep. The systems that I'm talking about that you should have in place, they don't sleep. They do what you tell them to do. And if you're smart about it and you set it up the way I'm going to teach you in the marketing courses, I've already started making videos in it about it. It's going to keep in touch with these people in a way that's not going to make them unsubscribe from you. And they're going to go, maybe I should call these guys, see what they're up to. And having local events, keeping things very community oriented. Like, so you're not just sending them emails, you're giving them like a community update. We're going to break it down in sections. So no matter who opens it, like it might just be court calendar. and there's just a link at the bottom, and you got a picture of the court calendar, and they're trying to remember where they find it, and they're googling court, what is it again, judicial calendar, whatever. In California, they have a thing called judicial council forms. If you don't remember that verbiage, when you go to Google it, you can't find the forms. You're like California court forms. No, you have to use the word judicial council forms, and then they show up. Isn't that weird? So if you are the person that like has that calendar at the bottom, they're going to go searching in their email for the York brand name. So I'm just saying all of these different things that you start emailing them, it's going to be something that's going to help them remember your name. You stay top of mind with them, and then you're going to get the business. And you're going to build a brand, and then you're going to build a relationship. And once you build a relationship, even though all you do is know their name, maybe their wife's name, if they have kids they're proud of, you're going to know their kids' names, and you're going to know their birthdays. The person, not everybody's, but for sure their person's birthday. And you're going to put it in your CRM, and you're going to eventually, once you got the cash flow going, you're going to actually connect your pipe drive to a tool called Mailbox Power. And Mailbox Power, all you'll have to do is add a little hashtag inside a pipe drive, and it'll activate a campaign. Imagine like sending off a missile of relationship building power. Okay, you put in your pipe drive, hey, send this off. It'll automatically add a campaign that you've built inside of Mailbox Power, which I'm going to teach you in detail how to do pretty soon. And it's going to basically send out an email. It's going to, or not send out an email. It'll send out an initial postcard, whatever you tell it to do. You can have it send Sherry's Berries. It connects to Sherry's Berries. You can have it send, it costs money, but building relationships costs money. If this is a top law firm in town that you want to try to land, it's worth it. And so what you can do is you can set up a campaign that stays in touch with them for the next 4 weeks, sends them your rate sheet via mail and a beautiful like postcard. Like this is just fire, right? It shows up. They're like, what is this? Oh, I think this is the guy. It was great speaking to you on the phone. Here's my rate sheet. Boom. You also emailed your rate sheet, right? And for what, $2? They got that? And you didn't have to do anything. You just put a tag in your pipe drive. Boom. It sends it over to mailbox. Okay. And then what you do is you put their birthday in there. And so every time when their birthday comes around every year, you forgot about this person, by the way. 2 years have gone by, you're crushing it, you got hundreds of clients, and they send you something in the mail. And now your new spouse or your whoever some new relationship, some whole life as your life has changed and developed, you're now getting this thing in the mail from this person that you set up an automation for 2 years ago. They're saying, thank you for the card. Here's a box of chocolates. And you're just like, okay, this is working. And then you're going to look up Mike Reed, and you're going to send me a check for 10%. Laugh. Okay, I'll just kidding. I'm your partner in this, you guys. Right?
You are.
Okay.
You're very helpful. I
mean-
told you if I could get clients, I'd be willing to go ahead and send stuff.
Yeah, no. Here's the thing, like if you're calling, you're gonna get customers that I promise you. You have to pick up the phone.
I know. I hate cold calling. I could do in call customer service all day long. Cold calling, I hate it. I guess because I did the telemarketing, it sucks. But yes, I know it needs to be done.
So you were on the call with us, right? With the VAs?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see here. Let me see if I have this quickly available.
Adele, you have such a nice voice.
Thanks.
It would be easy to talk to you.
And that's what I'm like. I just think it's easier when people call me because it's just objection of like no. And I know like there is a script and stuff. It's just yeah.
My name is Mark.
Okay, I want you guys to listen to this really quick, and I want you to think. This is one of the VAs that applied. I want you to think, and keep in mind, for those of you that haven't been paying attention very much, a replay or whatever, you know what I mean? We're all busy, right? So that I'm not making any money on this thing I'm telling you about. It's just 100% for you, okay? Yes, we're going to start a VA company because I want my VAs to crush it and be rich in the Philippines. I want there to be a TV show about rich Filipinos, and they're in there, okay? That's what I want, right? Edge, wake up, Edge.
Wait, Mike.
I tell her wake up. Why aren't your
Let's
cameras
go.
on? You guys are
Oh.
beautiful. What's up? What are you doing? All right, let's go ahead and listen to this Filipino person who applied at Mighty Virtual. to be one of your guys' VAs? I want you to listen to this.
And I've been within the industry for 12 years now.
Hold on. Yeah.
My first job was a collections representative for Converges with the account of Encore GE. And my job there was to recover outstanding balances for a credit card that was used for medical purposes. After that, I was a technical support specialist, and my job was to help diagnose and resolve technical issues for clients that has TV cable, home phone, and internet connection as one. And my third job is a sales and retention representative. So I help customers to stay with a company and retain them from canceling the contract and offering new services at the same time. And my recent job was a sales representative with Wilsey. And on my first year there within the company, I was promoted as a senior sales representative. My job was to negotiate effectively to maximize the profit of the company and maintain strong business relationship with our clients.
So the thing I want to get across to you guys is that there's somebody out there who will, like Adele, this is why I thought of this, Adele. There's somebody out there, not just Mark, but many others, okay, that speak good enough English, that are intelligent, that maybe have more experience than you, that aren't afraid to make phone calls, that will work on a commission basis, like a little bit of money, like $2 an hour plus commission. Right? What is commission? Well, every job I get, let me ask you this, Adele, and anybody who wants to comment on this. If you could get a job for $100, would you pay Mark? People called out Mark right away. Yeah, it's definitely Mark in this case. But we got a lot of good professionals that are ready. We have a few of them in the call. And so, Edge, put in the chat again the link for people to listen to recordings like this and other recordings too. You can hire them for $2 to $4 an hour, somewhere to start, and then just with a promise to give raises over time. And they will do these calls for you. They will do these calls for you. But my question to you, Adele, is would you be willing to pay this person $10 if they got you a client?
If I got a client, like, and so for every serve, or
no, for landing you a new client, only for new customers.
So just an extra $10. Yes.
Would you
that's what I'm saying. Are you saying an extra $10 per serve I get from the client, or just $10 just period?
While that would be while that would still make sense, no, I'm saying per client.
Oh, of course.
Brennan says $10 like 200 to them. Yeah, because it's like, what is it, Ed? Just like time 55? Something like that?
Yes, Mike, times 55.
Yeah.
As of now.
How much, Edge, how many American dollars does it cost to have a meal over there? Actually, that was like point something, right?
In a fast food, I guess for one person, $5 to $10 is good for one meal.
And but also fast food is considered like a luxury, huh?
A little.
Yeah. Yeah, because those guys aren't trying to give you a discount over there. McDonald's is like, nope, you're still paying $5. I don't care. I don't care if you only make a certain amount. But yeah, that's it's a lot more money, and your rent and mortgages and things like that are a lot less too over there. So they live a good life on, $4. I'm not saying $2 is exciting for them. I'm not saying that, but it's a good start for them. And they will make that sacrifice, because keep in mind, you're making a sacrifice by willing to train them on how you want things done. So if you can start at 2, have them make you money over time, you're going to make more money. You're going to get more customers. A salesperson's going to get the $10. Every time he gets that $10 or she gets that $10, they're just like, yes, they got that $10 and now they're going to go get you another customer. This is sales. Those of you guys who don't understand sales, as a matter of fact, Mark told us in the interview yesterday, he said that he was working for somebody. They tried to take away the commission structure and just give him a salary. And he was like, No, I ain't working no job, salary job. I want bonuses and commission. He wants because he's money motivated. Um, I got to take this really quick. We're going to wrap up here in just a second. You guys put your questions in the chat. And Edge, if you could just explain the process for ordering if somebody does want to reach out to you for a VA.
I'm on I'm on mute. So yeah, if you want to hire a VA, you can click the link that I just sent on the chat box. And you can also email me to support@mightyautomation.com. I'll type it as well.
All right, cool. Edge, did you everybody know what to do? Edge, can you hear me?
And like, is that to hire them individually, or is that to go through like you guys? So like if we paid, like you were talking about, like if we paid you like $50 a month, is that already up and going, or is that just to?
Yeah, you can pay $50 a month and we'll manage them for you. But either way you want to do it for this first go around, for those of you guys that are in the community and you're early adopters in the community, you're less than, the couple hundred people we've had. Actually, I was going to cut it off at 200 and say like anybody new needs to pay. But you know what? We're going to keep the community free till we get to 1,000. I want to have just like everybody in there that we can get that's engaged, that are actually business owners, that are actually doing this business. So if you want us to do it, essentially what it looks like is we invite them to our Slack channel. We invite you to that same Slack channel so you can check in on them. And then we are in there, our Edge is in there, and whoever else I have monitoring it will make sure that person's on task for the amount of hours that you're paying them for. If they're doing sales, then we have to have systems in place where you can track new orders. So we're going to do a separate order form for you for those folks that you can share with people. And every time somebody orders through that form, you're going to pay whatever you agreed to, right? So if you're looking for salespeople, if you're not looking for a salesperson, you're just looking for somebody to do jobs for you. Like random marketing tasks or whatever, then it's just $50 and they work per hour and we make sure that they're on task the whole time. So you'd be surprised how much they can get done in 8 hours. I've had a list of like hundreds of things, um, hundreds of things that they've done. And I'm like, okay, now whenever you run out of this 200 thing list, always do this one other thing, which is like blog writing or collecting emails for attorneys, putting them in my pipe drive, right, Edge? How many emails have you copied and pasted, Edge?
A lot.
Tens of thousands.
Yes.
She's a copy and paste magician. Don says, so $50 a month doesn't include sales. So remember this, it includes our fee. That's it. That's all we charge. But I don't know if you came in a little bit late. Don, tell me you came late without telling me you came late. Okay. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. No, it's okay because this clarification is important. So if the person you agree, the VA you decide to hire, it's between you and them. So if you decide, be creative. Maybe it's not 10, maybe it's 2. Okay. But be creative. What amount would make sense to you that if somebody was to bring you a new customer, what amount would make sense to you to pay them as a commission per person that they bring to you? So if you have to pay them hourly, something. So that fee gets paid to them as well. You can pay them directly via Wise, or we will keep them on staff and you pay us and it's just a pass through. And so there will be that $50 fee. Like if we manage them for you, there's a $50 fee plus whatever their salary is. Okay, if we're managing them for you, you pay us and then we pay them. But it's all transparent because I just want to take that. That's a part of managing it for you so you don't have to worry about paying them. Like you just have to pay your bill to me. The problem is if you don't pay, and you can't afford to pay them, don't hire them, you know. But my goal would be that you would hire somebody that would bring you business. Somebody like Mark, who's going to pick up the phone. I have an interview with him today to come on and start calling process servers to invite them to Mighty Process Server, to Mighty Website Builder. I'm going to hire him full time if he wants the job. He's going to be paid handsomely for anyone who signs up for a website, right? And it's just business. You need somebody to help promote your business if you want it to grow. Great question, Don.
So my
I was in a
so my question would be, Mike, if you hire some of these VAs, like, okay, so like I was gonna say, did you already hire Mark on? Are you able to say, well, Mike, do you have Mark available for a set amount of hours to use as your VA, or do we need to hire somebody separate than ones you're already hiring on?
That's a great point. So like there's one gal that's what is her name? Annabelle. She's
Mm-hmm.
only available part-time. And if
Yeah.
she's only available part-time, let's say 6 hours, and she wants to call for you but you can only afford two,
Mm-hmm.
or three, let's say whatever it is, and she can then work for somebody else for another three, and we would make sure that that's what was happening. Like,
Okay.
okay, this is now you're clocking in here, you're clocking out there, and we're just getting started with this, so some grace is needed, right? We're just getting started with it. But I have no doubt it's going to give outsized returns, like 10x returns on whatever you put into it compared to any like Google ads. Can you imagine $500 worth of Google ads spent towards a VA to actually make these phone calls for you, and they have decent English, and they communicate clearly, and I teach them the scripts so they know all the same stuff I teach you, they are going to learn. And if they're going to work. Now, as far as Mark or any other VAs, we're doing this for 2 more weeks. Edge has lots of applications. She's sending them. She requires a video or audio from all of them to make sure that they speak decent English. Right? They have to speak good English to be able to qualify, and then they get to come to the interviews on Tuesdays. And you guys are all invited to come to the interviews on Tuesdays as well. You just need to register for that separate Zoom link. And it's all, like I said, I don't charge anything for finding them. Usually what they would do is these firms would charge $1,000, $2,500, somewhere around there, as a finder's fee, essentially, for finding that talent. It's a talent company, right? You're finding the talent and then placing them with you and saying, I'll place them with you. You pay them directly and just handle it. If you want us to manage it, it'll be $250 a month. That's what they do. And actually they'll pay the VA $2 an hour, and they'll collect $4 an hour from you. And so they're making Edge. Edge is smiling because she's like, that's exactly how it worked. Poor Edge got kind of beat up. Anyway, this is not a VA sales thing. This is to help you guys, okay? I want you guys to, if you want a VA, you want to, dip your toes in that water, you can afford $20. Think about this, $2 an hour for 3 days. How much is that? 3 times 8 is 24. 24 times 2. 24 times 2 is $50. Like, one serve. So you got 3 days a week you could count on a VA. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, full time, handling all your calls. When they're not busy doing something, they're calling someone else. I recommend, if you can't afford that, okay, $50 a week for that VA, and then $50 a month for us to manage it. I would not do it. That's my recommendation. Edge, am I off base on that, or does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Yeah. You just don't want to get into it and then be like, oh, I can't afford it. It's $20. Like, I'll pay it. I won't let them go without getting paid. They'll get paid, but then you'll owe me. And you don't want to owe me. Okay. So gotta jump. As always, a great learning experience. Yeah. Thanks, Sean. Thanks for coming. Appreciate you guys. No contract. No contract. You just got to pay for whatever work they've done. Great question, Don. So yeah, for those of you guys who have been sitting on the fence thinking about like, well, I don't want to make calls. There's people who make calls for you. I was training with Desi on WebPST. Sorry. Oh, no worries, Richard. You welcome, man. Appreciate you coming. Cool. Worth trying it out for sure. So we have a list of about a few people who want to do it that have committed to at least 3 days a week. If you want that, I suggest you go look at the list of people and listen to their recordings. And put the link in there again, Edge, please. The link for it. It is in school, but you got to be at level 7 for office manager training. Many of you guys have the kind of experience that would be level 7, but we just started the community, right? So not everybody has access to it. Dang, so close. School, yeah. So let's so if you guys want to do this, we are not accepting money yet. We want you to be all in on this. I'm at 6 still. What is that? 6. What did I say?
You're saying level 7.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So you're almost there. Thanks, Adele. Adele keeps me. I don't know where you went, but yeah, keeps me on track here. So at 6, you'll get at 7. It's just a matter of time. It's like one of the bigger jumps to 2,000 points. But anyway, you're here live, so you guys get access to everything. It's just the replays and stuff like that that we put into the level 7 section. And then if you guys have questions, you guys, if it's a normal mastermind meeting, they all go into. So this meeting will be in the Zoom vault because it's a mastermind meeting, be the backup mastermind meeting. So you guys can go watch a replay of this. Just if you're interested, how can they reach out to you, Edge? How do you want to handle that if somebody wants to? If somebody listens to some calls and they're like, I really like Aura. I made some notes here. Aura, she was super good on the phones. You guys can look up her AURA. Very charismatic person. She's cool. Then we have Melissa, Mark, Annabelle. Emerson was pretty good too. Emerson had really good English and
Yeah.
sales. Michael was from Africa. The guy Michael, and apparently Jeff hired him. I don't know if Jeff is still on.
I think Jeff had to go, he said.
Yeah. So Jeff hired him to do some marketing stuff, and he's already working. And Jeff hired him directly. So if you want to do that, you can do that. We will set you up so you can do that. You got to show up to the virtual meetings live so that you can connect with them directly. Okay, we're doing those the next 2 weeks. Okay. You can show up live next Tuesday and ask them your questions directly. Listen to them, read through be the backup script in person. You just keep your cameras off. You can have your camera on, but turn your cameras off. Everyone who has their cameras on or people will show up to the top, and we have them go through one at a time, all 30 of them or however many there are, and they read the script, and you can hear their English. Some of it's terrible. Some of them were not good. It's no
I know.
reflection.
I could say I have a few that I would be like, do not say the word actually. And usually don't say bye for now, because that's what everybody says. You need to know that's the last thing. Bye for now.
Bye for now. That is noted. That is noted. Edge is that's one of hers. That is noted. Yeah, and you know what? It's okay. It's okay. But you can teach them. You can say, hey, and I will teach them the scripts and how to say the scripts right so that you actually get emails and that you actually get those emails sent out from your logins. Like, this VA is a little bit of trust is going to have to happen. You got to trust them to log into your pipe drive, or maybe create a separate email for them or something like that, whatever you're comfortable with. And then they're going to send emails out on your behalf with a template, right? That would be the goal anyway. You could just have them call them and make notes for you, but the best thing would be is in Pipedrive, like what I had my VAs do, and they still do sometimes, is they'll go through, call, and then immediately hit notes because Pipedrive will pop up the notes. And then you go into the notes and you could put whatever they said because you want to remember who to call back for. And then you just hit templates and it'll have a template there that you create. And it already has a person's name because it takes the first name, puts it in the email, right? And you just hit send, and you can make it to where they're just like, call, thanks, boom, boom, send, call, boom, boom, thanks, send, boom. Imagine they call 100 people a day for you. You want to probably do it with them at first. You can show up to like I said, you can show up to the channel. It's called a channel, but it's like a separate Zoom room just for your VA. And you show up into that Zoom room when it's their time to work for you, and you can keep it popped up on your screen. And Slack is really good about not messing with your Zoom or your camera or whatever. You don't have to approve for both the devices. So I can actually screen share Slack right now, and you could see their cameras, and you could see stuff, right? You could see what's going on. I invited these two ladies to the meeting, but usually you'd be able to go in there and see what they're doing and pop in and just be like, how's it going? I do it from my phone all the time, actually. I go into Slack on my phone. It's a really great app for it.
Slack is what a lot of the customer service at home companies use, like USAA, Converges. I used to work for Converges like 20 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, you see that little toot? We probably can't. See the green little bubble? It
Yep.
says two, which is how many people are in that huddle. Okay, that's how many people are in the huddle on Slack at Mighty Inc., right? And I can come and see what they're doing just by clicking it, popping in. It's kind of like a phone call, but like a group phone call. So it looks like you guys are still logged in here or no? Yeah. Okay, so it's muted. But look, I can see I can see both of their screens. Look at this. So they're in the meeting right now, and there's our videos. Okay. And I think Edges is maybe not in here because oh yeah, her camera's there. So you have her screen, you have her screen. If I want to highlight just one screen, I can click it, turn it, watch her screen, zoom in, say, hey, change this, do that. Like everything you could do right here on Slack. You're like, hey, by the way, I don't like this, I don't like that, do this, do that. Okay, hold on a second. Let me knock on this door. Yeah, I'm here for Josie. I got a legal document, blah, blah, I'm served by. Yeah, so anyway, like I was saying, we need to call this list of attorney. You see what I'm saying? This is designed for process servers to be successful. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to build for you guys. And I need your feedback too. I want the negative feedback. I want all the feedback because I want this to be successful for you guys because I need my little Filipinas over there to be rich.
So I have another question, Mike.
Yeah.
So I know when I was listening to the calls, this is what my thought it was, is if I hire somebody to make calls, and because there was males and females, is being able to have one of each be able to call. Because like I don't know, would one sometimes get more than other, like sales, like Mark is sales, but sometimes, females are able, like, it just depends, like, in the field, sometimes, females might get this more, or sometimes males might be able to seal the deal with this. So that was my only thing, is like, if we did go ahead and go through you, would we have that option? Like, could we use, like, sometimes we need a male, like, VA, and this, like, we try out different ones.
Yeah, I mean, so there's two things, right? So the first one is you can hire them directly if you show up to the Zoom meetings, where the VAs are there. Right now, for this time being, like right now, you build relationships with them now. You can just use them directly, like what Jeff did with Michael. So you could say, "Hey, I want to hire you for just 2 hours a week and see how you do," whatever. They may say no. They're like, "No, I actually need more work." But some of them are like, "Hey, I'll try it. Let's go. Let's try it." And then so you could have one of them for a couple hours, another one for a couple hours, see how they do. Testing and being a business owner about it is a good way to look at it. Like what you're saying, it is a good way. But what I will say for the most part is if with the calling, is if they have the script down and they don't sound like they're a machine, that's what they have a tendency of doing. All of us, but especially in the Philippines, is like, this is the script. I've mastered it. Let me just say it. And I have to remind them, like, this is a person you're talking to. This is an attorney. This is a paralegal. This is a secretary or something. And Edge is really good about this because when she first started, there's none better. Don't steal her. She knows the only rule that I have for her. There's only one law in mine and Edge's world. What is it, Edge?
Don't leave you.
Don't
Yeah.
leave me. It's okay. It's my only rule. I said, I will make you rich. Just never leave me. So,
Mike's second home is about to be in the Philippines. Just kidding.
no joke. That is no joke. She knows that too. Like, I'm just, I love helping people and I love helping the Philippine people. They're just so sweet. They're so good people over there.
And the
But
lumpia is ready, Mike.
yeah, you guys are awesome. Yeah, she named all of her children after people from the Twilight series.
Oh, wow.
Bella, Jacob, and Edward. Yeah, she's got
Love
her
Twilight.
kids.
Love Twilight.
Yeah. So you get to know them. They're people too, right? Filipino people, they're like they're part of your team. One day maybe you have an office manager who's in the US and you're boom, boom, they're doing proofs. That's what I had right in Chico. before I shut that office down, I had Cassandra, and I had two Cassandras actually. It's kind of funny. I had one Cassandra. She was kind of not really management material, but she was great on the phone. So I'd have her on the phone, answering phones, statuses for days because I had so many affiliates. And then I had Cassandra, who was a college student, who was wonderful at serving. She started serving for like 15 bucks a serve, and out of college, she was 6 foot tall, blonde, beautiful. Like she just everyone answered the door for her. Well, I finally hired her as an office manager to go serve stuff during the day, all the day serves, and she'd come back in, manage the office. And at some point, that my Cassies, my sassy Cassies, at some point you may have a local office where you do that stuff, and some of you probably already do. And that's cool. They can actually work in conjunction. You can make it where they don't have to do things because you're paying them $25, $30 an hour. They don't have to do some things that these ladies can do. You know, you can alternate. You can switch it off. You can say, you know what, that's actually something I can have the VAs do. You know what, that's actually something I can have AI do. You know what, that's actually something I can do myself because I actually want to get on the phone with that person because it needs to be done. That's the highest income producing thing I could do today is getting on the phone with that attorney who thinks we're not serving things on time when they're actually not reading their status emails. I need to call that person. I don't need anyone else to call that person, right? So there's certain things that need you. There's certain things that need a VA. There's certain things that maybe need someone like you that maybe knows more about your operation. And that's up to you as a business owner to figure out. But I'm excited for you guys that are interested in VAs and have a little bit of a budget to pay for them because they will change your business. Taxes information of the VAs. You can definitely write them off as outside labor, is what it's called on the Schedule C form, Richard. He says, can you do the write-offs? Um, but they're not employees. They're outside labor. They're contractors. So you got to give them W-2. Technically, they don't need a 1099. They don't need a 1099 technically, but you want to produce one. This is not tax advice. I'm not a tax attorney. Please contact a tax attorney. But that's what I do. I do a 1099. And I never send it to them because what are they going to do with it? Give it to the Philippine people and say, actually, we just had a talk today about this. Edge was saying that she needs proof that she has a job so she can get a credit card. I know I'm putting your business out there, Edge, but we've all been there. And so you showing proof via a form that the Philippines shows as legitimate will help her in her country get a credit card. Yes. I like that. Mary, come say that, please. Come on, come up here. She was like pouring her heart out. Now she's gonna be embarrassed.
I have a random thing, Mike.
Yeah.
Do you think that, just wondering, just will do you ever think process serving would go away where like they would have it where it's all done electronically? Or I don't know, let's go ahead and think like Elon Musk stuff, robots get to deliver the paperwork instead of humans.
I don't think that that's going to be anytime soon. But I think what's going to happen is going to become very specialized, where you're going to have individuals serving that one person serving for every 100. I do think that because businesses, I can give you a lot of examples, but what happens is people who adopt and assimilate to automation um, are the ones who win. And so that person who's like, I don't need no software, I go to Texas. I love my Texas people. And I really do because most of it's the greenest harvest because you go there, none of them have software, none of them have websites. Not none of them, but you know what I mean? Like a lot of them don't. And they're like, I still use Google Docs. And I'm like, okay, how many jobs do you do a month? They're like, like 200 or 300. I'm like, do you realize how much time you would save by having a software that costs you $50 a month? Like, you could save days of your life every month. And so, but they provide a great service. There's a lot of good, so I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying that um, those who adopt now can take those 2 or 3 days they saved. I mean, 2 or 3 days, say 24 hours times three, so like 72 hours in an entire month of working business hours that they could have spent to be in the backup, dropping off flyers, like growing their business. You see what I'm saying? Or maybe serving more papers or making more attempts or So the business that uses automation always wins. They always win. So you're already starting to see it with some of these bigger companies that they're using this software to make it a better experience for attorneys. So attorneys can just inside their own software select a server. Oh, in this state, blah blah blah. Will I approve X amount of dollars? Approved. Boom. Or send me a quote. Right, quote request. And my effort with the Mighty Process Service is really to create it where you maintain that relationship as an individual. But it's only a matter of time. Why would the attorney want to come to Mighty Process Servers and submit a job to get the best rate if they already have a contract with a big company that's going to give them a decent rate that they can count on no matter what? They can count on it, and the proof's going to be e-filed for them automatically because that's how the system's set up or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Like over time, I think it's going to become who optimized their business enough to where they were able to make the customer experience a wow factor every time. I don't think that these big companies are there yet. They're not even close. They're not even close to being there yet, but they have the right idea. Live natively inside the platform that the attorney's already using, like Clio or one of these other platforms. After it becomes more specialized, where it's mainly like PI serving because everything is e-served, right? We already have e-service all over the country. All over there's e-service. I got called yesterday. A guy's like, well, can I just e-serve it? And he goes, and I spent like 15 minutes on the call with this guy, which I rarely have these calls. Other people deal with this, but it came through to my cell phone. I'm like, so I answered it, 123 legal support, and he's just like talking about how to do stuff with small claims and subpoenas and stuff for his case. And then he finally was like, oh, and by the way, I have a fee waiver. I'm trying to, is it free? I was like, no, no, it's not free. He's like, well, I use your portal and that's free. I said, that's because I have an agreement with the court that anybody who's going to use my portal, which is automated for me, doesn't have to pay if they have a fee waiver. That's my agreement with the court. I said, but doing actual labor and driving to someone's house for you, I can't do. But the sheriff will, because the sheriff is a public servant. So they're paid to go do it for free if you have a fee waiver in some counties or whatever. Anyway, the point is like eventually they have sheriffs in every county, so they could serve it, right? The question is, will they get it done? Probably not. But as soon as everything is attached to one place, like your social security number is attached to, I've mentioned this before, but like voting, that's a big one. Like as soon as they get to a place where people can vote electronically and there's one platform where they can do it, it's tied to your social security number and your retina. Okay. You sit in front of your computer or even your phone. Like if you try to create a fake Facebook account on Facebook right now, try to do it and then get it verified. You can't do it. You can't get the little verified symbol on your Facebook account under a fake name. Can't do it. You got to show your ID. You got to take a picture of yourself. You got to go through all these steps. The technology is already out there, so it's only a matter of time before something like Facebook, I doubt it would be Facebook, but something similar where they can serve everyone. And it's your responsibility to stay up to date on your notifications inside of your government portal. Does that make sense? And it's not out of the question either. We have taxes, we have social security number, we have driver's license. You know what I mean? It's not out of the question that something like that would be set up. Right now, the federal government already has that in place where they can track us on all that, all in one place, right? There's no reason why it couldn't be used for something like that. I wouldn't worry though. If your question comes from fear, don't worry about it. You'll be dead long before process serving is gone. I mean, your kids may not be, right? Your kids and stuff. But what you do is you just create a business that creates enough cash flow. This is why I always beat up cash flow. Creating enough business for yourself that creates so much cash flow that you can accomplish all of the things you want to do. You can go to Disney World. You can go to Disneyland. You could buy your Bugatti. I know you guys all have on the wall. I don't have a Bugatti on the wall, by the way. I have apartment complexes. I have a picture over there. This is my dream board over here. I get out of bed. I do my breath exercises in the morning, like Tony Robbins teaches, where you get all the oxygen into your brain. And I look at this dream board. It has my daughter getting married. I want to live long enough to see her get married. I have an apartment complex somewhere here. All this is artwork for my daughter, by the way. She's like, "Where do I put this one?" I'm like, "Just put it up there." Yeah. But a lot of this stuff right here is stuff, for a while I had a woman up there with like black hair and blue eyes, and I started going around and everywhere I went, I saw that woman. I'm like, I need to take that off the wall. So I took it out because I'm like, I'm not looking for a woman that looks like that. It's just at some point, right? A woman, a wife, at some point in my life. I'm not in a rush for that, but and then there's apartment complexes and my weight goal, 250 pounds is my weight goal. My credit score at 800, it keeps teetering around seven something. And I want to get over 800 and stay over 800. I know a few people that have it. And I'm like, how do you have that? I make way more money than you. It's not about money. It's about credit. Right. So have goals, set the goals, remind yourself. Cause remember, you're like an animal. How many of you guys have dogs? I have too many dogs.
I
Anybody has a
decided to have kids since they're tax write-offs. Just kidding.
You don't have any dogs.
Nope, 8 kids only.
Kids are actually the same example. Kids have to be reminded, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Why are you pulling your sister's hair? You get in trouble for this. We're like neurotic animals sometimes as humans. And what I learned through learning about meditation is that our brains are not our spirit. And I'm not talking about religion here. I'm talking about like our consciousness. Okay. Our brains are actually an animal too. Our brains are actually mammalistic. We're mammals, right? So our brains sometimes, if we eat bad foods or we drink alcohol or whatever happens, we're affected negatively. And if you meditate and you exercise and you take care of your mind, your body will follow. And for a long time, all I did was focus on business, 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 making money, cash flow, cash flow, cash flow, right? And just in the last like couple years, well, actually like 5 years, I've started looking like lose weight, trying to, be more mindful about my attitude towards things, trying not to cuss as much. I'm just saying, having a positive mindset about your future. And if you guys haven't heard of Tony Robbins, look him up. You got to look up Tony Robbins. Watch one of his YouTube videos. He's just the best for mindset stuff.
Mind, body, and soul, it all intertwines.
Yes. Yes, but understanding that your mind it does have like a drive to do something, like it wants things, and your conscious mind can say, "No, just sit there for a minute." That's what meditation is. I used to think meditation was so woo-woo, like crazy. Why would you do it? But actually, it's one guy explained it really well. What is his name? He's become pretty famous actually recently. But he just explains it so well. He talks about like, when you sit there, yeah, be still. I'm gonna try to explain it the way he explained it to me because it just made so much sense. It's like he said, normally you get up, my puppies barging in. Normally you get up and you go to work. Let's just say you get up, you go to work, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, you stopping and you get your coffee. There's somebody who like triggers you on the freeway because you're getting ready to turn off of this exit, and they always do that. You're like frustrated and you're go through this mind, like this is your morning. And your mind and your body and everything's going through all these physical movements and emotions and all this. You get to the office, the same guys. If you're a woman, he's flirting with you. You have no interest in him. He just won't get it, right? Whatever. Go through all that, right? And then now imagine one day the office says, "Hey, we're snowed in. You have to stay home." And you decide just to sit there and meditate. Your mind is going to, and it's not just based on time, it's based on like you as a person waking up and what's your normal routine. You as a person, your body's going to go, well, we should normally be in traffic right now. We're going here. We got to go there. There's this urgency that your brain and your body wants you to move. And you having the conscious ability to be self-aware and to say, no, sit, be still. Try it. When I first tried it, it was so hard. I was sitting there and I was like, I was just like sitting there and listening to like this meditation. There's guided meditations, which I recommend when you first get started. And you listen to it, and oh my gosh, the peace that I had. I was sitting in front of the sun and letting the sun hit me, and I was meditating, and all my dogs were put away or being quiet, and it was just the best 10 minutes. And I just felt so centered and like good. I don't do it all the time, but when I do, man, my day goes so much better. So little things like that, especially if you're out serving and you're stressed out a lot, I just wanted to share that with you. That is one thing that you can do that will really help you be centered, not be so triggered. Be calm with people. People who probably deserve to be knocked around and punched in the face. You're chill with them. You're like, you know, you're above that. You're above when people say don't lower to their standard. It's not like they're less of a person than you. It's your behavior. You don't lower your behavior standard for them. You keep it up here. So we're getting into some mindset stuff here. We went really long today, but you know what? It was worth it. It was worth it. We got into some good stuff, great questions. When you guys have more questions, it's not just for me, it's for the whole group. People want to come and just and give their feedback and questions and how they're accomplishing things in their business. It's really helpful. And there's a lot of people not on this call that should be. I will tell you, I get messages from people. Mike, I saw your video on YouTube Shorts and it said this and that. How can I do XYZ? I've started now just saying, come to the meetings. Come to the meetings because we
The
get so
meetings are
much
very
done in there.
helpful.
What?
The meetings are very helpful.
Yeah, and it's not me. It's like the whole group is the mastermind principle is a real thing. Who is the guy who talks about the master? There's so many books that who knows what that is? Mastermind principle. How to win. Which one is it? Napoleon Hill. Yeah, Napoleon Hill, and he's wrote a bunch of books on this topic. You know what? I'm going to grab this YouTube video. I'm going to put it in the chat. I'm actually also going to include it in school. I don't know how good this video is, but it is by Ian, and he talks about Napoleon Hill a lot. So I'm going to share that here in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys with this. Okay, I want you to, if you at all interested in hiring a VA and you just want to talk more about it, I'm open to having a one-on-one with you. Me, you, and Edge and Mary, they're my business partners in this. There's no commitment or anything. Okay, you guys can book a call with me, but email her so that we can kind of get a list going. Okay, you just email support@mightyautomation.com, and I'm willing to hire somebody. There's a couple of people I have in mind that I would hire, and I would give 2 hours to you, 2 hours to this person. When I was in Florida, there was a guy who was getting quite a bit of work. He'd get like 10 or 20 jobs a day, and he was doing all his own data entry into PST, and it was driving him crazy. And every once in a while, he would hire Desi on the side just to do data entry, and he'd pay her a premium, like a pretty good amount of money. And I was like, that's crazy, just to do data entry. Why doesn't he switch to a different software? That was back then. And then PST has come a long way from their download version. Now they have an online version. It's still not exactly what I would want, and they don't listen to me really. So, but they are the ones I recommend the most right now. But whichever one you use is key. But my point is, get out there, make it happen. Your business is waiting for you, and appreciate you guys coming. So go out there. I put in the link here. Adele says, count me in. All right. Well, I put the link there for Napoleon Hill. Really buy in on this mastermind principle because I'm here hosting it. I'm giving you what I have. But at some point, this is why I decided to cap it at 40, 41 mastermind meetings until June. There's only so much I can share with you. At some point, you need a community of people to help support you. And that's what we have with school. And we're going to have like once a month, we'll have a meeting, probably a mastermind meeting moving forward. But the idea is that you need to you guys that are here in person, you're forever encapsulated. You're forever like in a part of this. So when somebody comes back and watches the replay, they're going to see this and go like, oh, what was this? Richard Carr? What is it? That's that one guy. Boom, he built this big business. That's what I want. That's what I want. I want, Adele, Rhino, that's Rhino Justice. They're like the number one company in Houston. That's crazy. Like, that's what I want that's what I want people to look back and go, okay. And not so they hire me or anything, but so they can see it's possible. Like Jessica is like such a great example. I'm so happy for her and excited to see her crushing it. But she has a tenacious obsession about growing her business. She does. There's no it's crazy. Speak it out into existence and it'll happen. Yeah, Napoleon Hill's great. Anything he's written, you should read, listen to on Audible. And anything by Earl Nightingale too. He reads a lot of the books these other guys write, and he's got a deep voice. It's like really like soothing. You know, I fall asleep to it actually. Business in your mind, like, you know, meditation. So we've went a little long. Go ahead and go watch that video, you guys. Go out and crush it. Go out there and take mighty action. All right. All of you guys got your cameras off because we went too long, so you're just kind of listening in, which I appreciate. Yeah, Edge. Have fun making money, right, Edge? That's what I tell my VAs every time we check out. I say, have fun making money.
Have fun making money.
That's right. And she
Oh.
flexes them big guns. All right. All right. Well, you guys take care. Have a great weekend. And we will see you guys on Tuesday for the interviews of the VAs. And you're welcome to just come in and talk in the chat as well, listen in and be a part of it. Okay. Thank you guys so much. Be safe out there.
Thank you. Bye.